about my notice, you said, oh, wow, early. What I like to try to do, I like to try to start the waiting room 10 minutes before the stream is actually starting. Because if I say that we're starting the stream at 5 o'clock, then I think we should be out of the waiting room and actually starting the stream at 5 o'clock. Oops, gotta put on streamer mode. Okay, just because I don't have streamer mode, doesn't mean everyone freaking Discord message me. Jesus. Well, it's Skyrim lo-fi music. But, yeah. Yeah. You silly Billies, that's what you are. Look at that. Oh, by the way, I have installed a Fallout terminal mod on Opera GX. So all of our browser sounds now sound like a Fallout terminal. McSkittles, I already told you. If you can't remember the goddamn date of the baking stream, that's not on me. One of these days, McSkittles, boom, pow, zoom, straight to the moon. In Minecraft. We got one more minute, and then we can go into clips. And then after clips, we'll be live. There are cookies in Minecraft, you're right. I'm not gonna say no, you're wrong about that. You know, I should really see about updating my emotes. Good evening, Vigi, huh? The BGM is very calm. Oh, we're ready. Here we go.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
I don't know, probably not.
Well, it's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create... Dude, are you even paying attention?
Of course. Just carry on with your story, dude.
He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about.
And now, the nations of the world who hate Johnny, presented by Eva. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam. Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany now one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey and Greece. Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman. Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium and Portugal, France, England, Denmark and Spain. India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana. Burundi, Lesotho, and Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone. Niger, Nigeria, Chad and Liberia, Egypt and Nina, Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya and Mali, Sierra Leone and Algier, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Majorca, Cayman, Montana, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Crete, Mauritania, then Transylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta, and Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan.
This is American joke です。
なるほど。
だからなんでよ。
I'm so stressed out. I feel like I'm having a panic attack.
You want to talk about stress? You want to talk about stress? Okay? I've stumbled onto a major company conspiracy, Mac. How about that for stress?
What the hell are you talking about?
This company is being bled like a stuffed pig, Mac, and I got a paper trail to prove it. Check this out. Take a look at this.
Jesus Christ,
That right there is the mail. Now let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Mac? I'm dying to talk about the mail with you all day, okay? Pepe Sylvia. This name keeps coming up over and over again. Every day, Pepe's mail's getting sent back to me. Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. I look in the mail. Well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia. So I said to myself, I gotta play this guy. I gotta go up to his office. I gotta put his mail in the guy's goddamn hands. Otherwise, he's never gonna get it. It's gonna keep coming back down here. So I go up to Pepe's office, and what do I find out, Mac? What do I find out? There is no Pepe Sylvia. The man does not exist, okay? So I decided, oh, shit, buddy, I gotta dig a little deeper. There's no Pepe Sylvia, you gotta be kidding me. The box is full of Pepe. All right, so I start marching my way down to Carol in HR, and I knock on her door, and I say, Carol, I gotta talk to you about Pepe. And when I open the door, what do I find? There's not a single goddamn desk in that office. There is no Carol in HR.
Oh. Jimmy on a beat, boy. Ouchie.
Okay.
Boomer. Whatever you say.
Okay.
Boomer. Okay.
Okay.
Boomer.
Yeah, boomer.
Whatever you
Okay.
say. Boomer.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
Boomer.
Yeah, boomer.
Whatever you say. Boomer. Okay.
Okay.
Boomer. Whatever you say.
Okie dokie,
Boomer.
boomer.
BOOMER. Please, sir, Dusty moods on vibe with me. You are old and so therefore I must say 10 for dinosaur. Hey. Ouchie.
Okay.
Boomer. Whatever you say.
Okay.
Boomer. Okay.
Okay.
Boomer. Whatever you say. Boomer. Okay. Whatever you say. Boomer. Okay. Boomer. Okie dokie, Boomer. Well, hello, everybody. How are we doing? This fine, fabulous, fantastic Tuesday in which, for some reason, there didn't seem to be any scuff. Isn't that fucking crazy? At 10-4 dinosaur, I felt called out. Okay, Boomer. Okay, wow, we have a lot of people chatting right now. So let's go ahead and take a moment here. And let us actually say hi to... Actually, hold on. Real quick, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna close my window because there's quite literally a snowstorm on the way. And I don't want to, be, caught up talking and it's like, oh my god, why is it cold in here? Well, maybe because you left a window on, or open during a snowstorm. I'll be back 2 seconds. And just like that, we're back. Alright, so, welcome to all the chatters, including and Mech Skittles, Isaac 13D, Severos, Nerdy Tex and Accountant, Nico Manhattan Fox, Berry Bomb, Francis Karma, Franzi Chow, Golden Helm, Embleon, Vigihan, JP Ravenfire, Festiva, Baser Alice, welcome, Hawkeye, Swatch Rustabout, I'm not sure if I already said, but we're gonna risk it. Bug, Buck5654, how's it going? Lolbertarian, how's it going? And thank you for being a house Carl for 4 months. And Chibugamo, how's it going? How is it going? Keen Man, welcome, welcome. Look at all the people. Alright, so we have a, oh wow, thank you so much for the 20 gift layer. Let's count them, ready? Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so for those wondering why the hell did this freaking autistic as shit elf just count all the fucking gifted memberships as they came in, is because we are near the top limit of what we're actually allowed to accept as memberships. Couple of the last streams we actually had like gifted 150 memberships, and the last 2 bouts of 50 memberships actually ended up being refunded because there was no one left to actually give the memberships out to. So Scorpio 8438, how's it going? Yeah, it does seem to be handing all the subs out. Other ways of supporting me, of course, is you going via Throne or Ko-Fi, as well as Super Chats, of course. And for those who are curious, yes, the funds on the Throne thing for the shock collar have come through. So this week I will be ordering that. Stay tuned for what we're gonna do with it. Obviously, it'll be something we can maybe have as a redeem, or maybe something like a collab tool or whatever. But yes, it may very well be soon that you can electrocute your favorite elf. There's a limit. Yeah, Squaw, I had no idea, but apparently there is. There actually is a limit. Yeah, suffering from success. Yeah, absolutely. First time that there's a dude. It's wild. But people who are here watched me get gifted 2 sets of 50 memberships that didn't hand out a single freaking membership. Freaking wild. Anyway, Pancakey, welcome. Jesus, are all of you getting shot calls? I mean, that's pretty much what's happened. Hey, yo. Lord Darrow, welcome. Okay, we have to get on topic here, right? We have a bunch of things to be reacted to, chat. Gonna open all of these up in a new window. No, shut up. You two. And 3, and 4, and 5, and 6.
How is it?
And 7, okay. You guys heard the first frame of every video that we're gonna be reacting today, but I had to get them up. With me turning 25 next month, does that make me an unk or boomer? You know, you're my age actually, so that would make you a zoomer. Also, welcome to what? Okay, what's this name? This name is ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Ethel. Okay, Ethel. Ethel Burge Seinfeld. Ethel. Okay, I swear to God, I'm not having a stroke here, but Ethel Burge Seinfeld. Is that how you say your name? I'm trying, I promise I'm trying. Oh, there goes the model. What model? My model? What's wrong with it? Okay. So, now that we have that all done, even making fun of people's realm, I'm not making fun of anybody's name. I am making fun of my own inability to pronounce these very unique names. Magic Miso, welcome to the chat. Alright, so we have... Okay, here we go. 8th. Okay, 8th O. Eberish. Sign Bail. Okay, thank you. Golden Helm. You know, I'm gonna laugh really hard if he responds and says that's actually not how you pronounce it at all. Golden Helm, welcome to the chat. Alright, so we have some 1, 2, 3... Oh, we have 7, okay. So we have 7 videos to be reacting to today. One that we're starting out, we're showing, you know, we're showing good judges, good judgments, bad judgments, as well as touching on a little bit of legal mindset, such as the Powdur model fiasco that's going on. We have his suspects lined up for that, as well as a few other things. So without further ado, we're going to get into the first video. That first video being from Uncivil Law, posted 4 days ago, when your stalker is a district court judge. Now, for those who don't know, I have a little bit of experience in terms of law. It's like family law. That's what my background is. I have about 18 months of practicing under my belt before I quit and retired and will never practice again. But that's beside the point. It was, however, family law, and you're going to see that in family court in general, it's some of the most taxing shit that can hit you. And even judges, family court judges, are not, what would be the word? They're not infallible. We have this thing where we like to apply the suspension of disbelief on judges, where, you know, when they put on their robe, they are, you know, they're truly unbiased and they're truly fair and just a finder of fact in the interest of pursuing justice and all that. Sadly, we have to remember that most judges are human, and humans don't operate like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get Kurt's take on this. I believe that's his name, right? On civil law, and that's Kurt. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
When it comes to the judges we elect and appoint,
hold on, buddy. Jesus. There we go. Okay, here we go.
When it comes to the judges we elect and appoint, we all operate on a collective suspension of disbelief and hope. We like to pretend, or perhaps hope beyond hope, that when that person puts on the black robe, they will magically cease to be a mess of human neuroses and bad decisions. We pretend that they are...
I wouldn't describe all humans as a mess of neuroses and bad decisions, but I mean, yeah, that is kind of the, that's the trade-off that we have here, you know?
of the adults in the room. But in Washoe County, Nevada, that suspension of disbelief just crashed into a Pilates studio parking lot. Meet Judge Bridget Robb. Until about 5 minutes ago, she was a respected district court judge in the family division. Her day job was difficult.
You hear that?
Involved...
Yeah, hold on. I know what her job is, and you're probably going to explain it real quick, but she was a family court judge, which means custody hearings, messy divorce proceedings, signing protective orders, like some of the most exhausting shit to have to deal with in terms of like the human fucking like social construct that we call this fucking world. A fucking family judge is going to see the worst of the worst, and she's going to have to be she or he is going to consistently be up against a system that is in much need of improvement on several levels.
Telling angry ex-spouses to behave, signing restraining orders, and deciding who is stable and not stable enough to have custody of children. But apparently, when that robe came off, what happened in Vegas didn't stay in Vegas as the Fatal Attraction DVD went in. Because Judge Robb has just retired in disgrace after she was slapped with a temporary protective order for terrorizing a local attorney. Now, we're not talking about a simple mistake.
I'm sorry. What did she do? What did she do to actually get, like, stalking or harassment charges? Because usually stalking and harassment are kind of, like, bundled together.
that might be a little bit more excusable.
Wow.
Perhaps the proverbial drunk text at 2 a.m. Instead, we're talking about a 20-month campaign of surveillance involving over 300 separate instances. We're talking about a...
Holy shit. Almost 2 years and 300 instances. So for those who don't know, one of the main factors in proving, like the burden of proof that you actually have to meet to prove stalking or harassment. I believe harassment actually has several definitions depending on the state that you're in, but a lot of them have an established and prolonged period or pattern of actions. I would say that 2 years and 300 traceable, verifiable incidents is definitely meeting that standard.
Sitting judge hiding in her Jeep outside of a gym, monitoring the movements of her ex-boyfriend's new partner. As for her defense, when the police finally knocked on her door, she didn't plead the fifth. She didn't claim mistaken identity. Instead, she decided to tell officers that she was just collecting information as a coping mechanism.
Hey, Dad, how's it going?
Now, some lawyers might drink...
I'm sorry, what? We have to go back. I read... Okay, so what I think was just claimed by the judge is that she was collecting this information as a coping mechanism. Now, I'm going to say a lot of things here. Attorneys have a lot of different weird coping mechanisms. Usually it's alcohol or drugs. It is, sadly, just the truth. It's a prevailing problem amongst those who practice law. But I've never heard of, I'm really stressed right now, and you know what would calm me down? You know what would help me cope? If I actively stalk my ex-lover's boyfriend or girlfriend. Wow, okay, here we go. Galileo, welcome. And Lion Bean as well.
As a coping mechanism. Yeesh. Now, some lawyers might drink bourbon as a coping mechanism. Perhaps you yell at the television as a coping mechanism. But as I shouldn't need to tell you, stalking a lawyer for 2 years is not a coping mechanism. It is, in fact, a felony. So today, we're going to break down the case of Bonneau versus Rob.
Wow.
And we're going to take a look at the absolute...
Bonneau versus Rob. Okay, Bonneau versus Rob. Okay, I heard that.
Appellate bomb this judge just tried to drop on the Nevada legal system. But most importantly, we're going to talk about how the victim, a woman who knew the system was broken, managed to weaponize the rules of evidence to save herself when the police wouldn't. To understand the sheer scare of this particular disaster, you have to understand the players. This isn't some petty dispute between neighbors. This is a clash of legal titans. In one corner, we have the Honorable Bridget Robb. She's been on the bench since 2006, appointed by Governor Kenny Ginn. She's presided over Department Number 13, a lucky number indeed. In the other corner, we have Kelsey Bonneau. Now, she is not a random citizen. She is an attorney at McDonald Carno, one of the most politically connected and powerful law firms in the state of Nevada.
Holy shit.
And the nexus of this particular disaster...
Yeah, that's like... If I could, like... God, it's like the fucking... It's like the top two. It's basically, Better Call Saul, Hamlin, HHM... How they were like one of the fucking biggest firms in the area and shit in New Mexico, I think it was. That's pretty much what we're talking about. These are big fucking swingers. This is one of the most powerful firms in the state of Nevada.
Is Matt Addison, another partner at that firm. He and Judge Robb had, well, we'll call it an on-again, off-again friendship with benefits relationship for a decade. They broke up in 2021. Addison started dating Bonneau. And Judge Robb, well, apparently she decided that closure is best achieved through high-frequency surveillance. According to the affidavits that were filed by Bonneau, the harassment began in May of 2024. Over the next 20 months, the judge apparently engaged in a relentless campaign of stalking.
Wait a minute. So they broke up in 2021. The judge finds out a few years later, in 2024, that, oh, hey, he's dating again and he's dating this other person, right? And so you're like, I'm sorry, you're not over it yet? 2 to 3 years is more than enough time to, like, get your shit together as a person after a breakup. But you're telling me that years after your breakup, you went, oh yeah, I should definitely high-tier surveil my ex-lover and their new lover. Because why?
The details in the legal case are suffocating. Bonneau alleges that the judge would drive by her home repeatedly. Did you hear that? She would actually drive by her home. But the crown jewel of this particular insanity turned out to be the Pilates studio. The affidavit states that Judge Robb would park her judge outside the Loops Pilates studio while Bonneau was in class. Apparently, it became so obvious that the Pilates instructor, a person whose job is to help you engage with your core, not to help you engage with your stalker, apparently had to go outside to investigate the creeping vehicle.
You're stalking to the... Oh, man, that's really bad. That's really... Well, that's a witness that definitely would be called in that trial.
So, imagine the psychological toll here. You are a professional woman. You're an attorney. And you decide to try to get a workout in. Not a bad way to get rid of some stress, if you ask me.
Oh, thank you so much. Lap starter 2x for the 5. Eva, our Elfpire's great stealth archers also had pets. Actually, I'm kind of unique amongst elves. One, Elfpire is just, I'm a snow elf vampire. For one. For two, I actually tend to be a warlock / monk multi-class, so I'm much more martial, and I actually use a common. I'm kind of like a spell sword. Honestly, I use a short sword. I sometimes have a buckler, and I cast magic at you while also coming at you with my fucking sword and my teeth and my fucking little shield, and I'll beat you to death with that if I have to. But yeah, no arrows and no bows really involved. I have thrown axes before, but it's not my... I really like the short sword, okay? Fireball is bad. I have fire vulnerability.
Outside the window is a district judge waiting for you. So this entire thing leads to the uncivil reality check. If a partner at a top firm has to endure 300 incidents and spend over $15,000 on home security before police eventually intervene, what chance do the rest of us have?
So this attorney, feeling threatened and not having the police actually take this seriously, had to invest in 15 grand worth of security fucking shit? Agricola, how's it going? Eldritch Blast 6 Infinity, Well, I do have Eldritch Blast, but it's a flavored, it's like a wind blast.
This case wound up to be a stress test of the justice system, and in this particular case, it failed. Well, let's take a look at the law, because unlike Judge Robb, we do actually care about it. Under Nevada Revised Statute 200.575, stalking is defined as willful, malicious, and repeated course of conduct.
Oh, thank you for the next 5. Watch Temp's highlight video for context on why I asked you that. It's because, Temp was covering the Morrowind stuff, wasn't he? And I had a take on the Morrowind stuff.
That would cause a reasonable person to feel terrorized, frightened, intimidated, or harassed.
Jesus, okay, I'm sorry I paused, but slice my finger open, opening a package. Are you fucking okay? 2, stop the bleeding. 3, close the wound if it needs closing. Please do not sit here and watch my stream if you're actively bleeding out. 1, that's just dangerous. 2, it's really rude to me. I'm a vampire, and you're basically just laying out bait for me.
So let's score the judge's performance on these metrics. Repeated? Well, she had 300 incidences. That isn't so much repeated as it is a full-time job. Reasonable fear? Well, the victim installed military-grade home security and documented her terror in a sworn affidavit. Malicious? Well, that's pretty much a legal slam dunk. When detectives finally interviewed Judge Robb at her home, on December the 30th of 2025...
And I heard somebody say, oh, that's 1/2 a potential civil suit. Oh, more than a civil suit. This is criminal... Like, criminal action can be taken here. And from what it sounds like, it sounds like criminal action was taken.
She made statements that will be studied in law school as How Not to Talk to the Police 101. She admitted that she was collecting information on the victim. She admitted that it was a coping mechanism for a breakup. Now, any defense attorney...
Hey, look, it's extremely rude for you to bleed in front of a vampire. I don't think I'm stating a controversial opinion here.
attorney watching this is currently screaming into a pillow. Why? Well, because she just handed the prosecutor that mens rea, the mental state, on a silver platter. She admitted her conduct was intentional. She admitted it was personal. And she admitted that it had absolutely no legitimate judicial or any other purpose.
Why did this oh my god, wow. I mean, come on.
And unfortunately for the judge, this is not one of those situations in which immunity applies. Judicial immunity is a powerful shield indeed, but it only covers judicial acts. That is, acts performed in the capacity.
And most immunity, also perfect freeze frame, by the way. But most immunity is only limited to in the pursuit or in the fulfillment of your duties or the office that you hold, right? So the president has a lot of immunity, but only when it relates to him utilizing in fulfilling his duties as president. Similar to policemen, federal agents, judges, etc. like that. Qualified immunity is just that. There's a qualifier to it.
As a judge. So for example, signing a warrant, you're immune. Sentencing a criminal, you're immune. Driving your Jeep to your ex's girlfriend's gym to stare at her, well, that isn't really a judicial act so much as a personal frolic. Judge Rob has exactly zero immunity for all this.
Yeah, 100%.
But the criminal exposure is only half the problem. The one that makes this truly uncivil is the ethical nuclear bomb she just detonated. Remember, for those 20 months, Judge Rob was still sitting on the bench. She was still presiding over cases. And who appears in Washoe County courts consistently? Well, it would be that law firm I mentioned earlier, McDonald Carno. Uh-oh. Now, there are judicial codes of ethics.
Yeah, that's a big conflict. Well, that's a big conflict of interest, is it not? She is morally and ethically obligated to recuse herself in any case in which a lawyer from that firm is engaging with that particular court. Or at least engaging with her in that court.
Rule 2.11 of the Code of Ethics is crystal clear. A judge shall disqualify herself in any proceeding where impartiality might reasonably be questioned.
There it is.
So here is your pop question for the day. Do you think a litigant who was represented by this law firm before this court might have some special cause to question the impartiality of this judge who's currently hunting the opposing counsel? I think...
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it, but yeah.
They might. Sounds like the appellate court is about to get busy, because this is an appellate bomb. Every single order, every single settlement, every single...
Well, it's like Kurt is already getting into that part of New York, but yes, absolutely. This is actually kind of a fucking nightmare for the higher courts right now. Because now they have to comb through every fucking case that this judge presided over during her illegal conduct. This is a nightmare. This is, oh God, I really don't feel like, I feel really bad for the appealing court here. Like, it has got, it's like, oh, you know what, just freaking shoot me. Seriously, I would rather die than have to deal with going through a fucking family court judge. A family court judge. Oh my God, you know how many cases would be involved and would have to be looked at over 2 years. So that could be like a couple thousand. That could be 1,200 to 2,000 cases that they have to look at.
Ruling in every case Judge Rob made involving McDonald Carno from May 2024 to basically now is potentially tainted. Losing parties are going to be lining up around the block to vacate all those judgments. The court 100%. Administration is going to spend millions of taxpayer dollars trying to clean up this mess because of one judge who couldn't handle a breakup. What a nightmare. Now I'd like to pivot. Because on this channel, we do spend a lot of time mocking incompetence of the system. But in this case, we do have to give credit where it's due. We need to talk about Kelsey Bonneau. Now, we have a lot of viewers out there who are concerned about their safety, men and women alike. And sometimes it seems like the legal system ignores intuition. And on some occasions, it does. The law is, in fact, a cold, unfeeling machine. It doesn't care about bad feelings. It's supposed to operate on evidence. But fortunately for Kelsey, Kelsey Bonneau is a lawyer. So she knew that if she just went to the police with a he said, she said, it might be difficult for things to get off the ground. So instead, she didn't just get scared, she got organized. So this is what I'm calling the Bonneau method. And it's actionable advice for anyone watching.
Okay, the Bonneau method. Okay, so I'm pausing it here. I'm gonna go back 5, but I love that he's now coined this term. I'm pretty sure I know the steps that this lawyer took in order to collect the evidence necessary to create a reasonable suspicion to allow police to investigate and then charges actually go through. Kurt is dubbing this method that Bonneau used in order to actually entrap this judge. He's coining it the Bonneau method. And without further ado, let us see what one should do when facing a stalker. Because I'm gonna let you know right now, this is probably the most egregious, stalking incident I've fucking seen in a hot minute. This is involving a judge, but this judge was found guilty of these things, and if you can find a judge guilty of stalking, then goddamn, you better look at this fucking method, because stalking and harassment are an extremely difficult standard to prove.
Calling the Bonneau method, and it's actionable advice for anyone watching. She logged everything. She didn't rely on memory. She created a log with 300 instances with dates and times. She preserved all the footage. Ring camera footage, for example, typically deletes itself after a while, but she made sure to save it. She created a permanent archive. And then she corroborated. She worked with her Pilates instructor to get that second witness. So when she finally filed for that temporary protective order on January the 12th, she didn't walk in with merely her tears. She walked in with a mountain of paperwork. It is certainly objectively terrifying to be stalked. And it's a different level of nightmare when the stalker...
So, Meteoric asks, is there a reason they'd have to look at all the cases she has presided over versus those that are clearly more likely to be a conflict of interest, i.e. that particular law firm? The issue here, Meteoric, is this is a major law firm in Nevada, and I would reckon probably roughly half, if not 2/3 of the cases that she saw across her desk had an attorney, whether it be on plaintiff's side or respondent's side or whatever the fuck. But I guarantee you, roughly 50% to 2/3 of every case that fell in front of her desk had a lawyer at that firm. I'm not that's how fucking big and fucking superstar this firm is, and it's family court. So it's very limited the types of cases that she's going to be actually looking at, and this is one of the biggest firms that handles family matters. So yeah, they're not going to have to look at all of her cases, but they're going to have to look at every single case that has an attorney involved with that firm.
Is the person who typically signs the restraining orders. This whole thing was a nightmare because the attorney knew that the person hunting her is a so-called honorable judge. Bonneau had to walk a tightrope. If she swung as sitting judge and missed, her career in the county could likely be over.
100%,
So she decided to wait until she had a case so airtight that the system had to protect her. And she had to spend about $15,000 on security. Now that can be viewed as a tax by the legal system. The cost of the innocent buying the safety that the state fails to provide. But because she was competent, she was thorough and dedicated, she won. She forced a sitting judge off the bench, and she protected her clients to boot. That is a victory of competence over corruption. So you're probably wondering, how does this particular story end? Did the judge get dragged out of chambers in handcuffs? Did she face some sort of public impeachment trial? Unfortunately, none of those things.
She just resigned.
Just days after the judge herself was served with the kind of temporary protective order that she would normally be the one issuing, Judge Robb announced her retirement. And as for her criminal exposure, here is the uncivil law reality check. The criminal case was sent to the Reno City Attorney, not to the Washoe County District Attorney. Now, the city attorney normally only prosecutes misdemeanors.
A jurisdiction
So in
issue?
legal speak, it seems like the whole thing is being swept under the rug and she's going to get away with it. Under Nevada law, simple first-time stalking without a death threat, a misdemeanor means a maximum of 6 months in jail. But for a first-time offender, not so much. More than likely, she pays a fine, maybe she does a few days suspended, and takes a class on how not to be a creep. Now, if you stalked someone 300 times, drove by their house, and terrified them to the point they spent $15,000 on security, you might be facing a felony harassment charge. But when a judge does it, it seems like the entire system is apt to sweep it under the rug and call it a coping mechanism. And barring some sort of governmental action that seems unlikely, she'll also keep her pension. To my mind, this isn't justice. This is the system treating its own as the specials. Cool. But what do you think? Are you outraged by this incident and how the judicial system is responding to it? Leave your comments below. I look forward to seeing what you have to say on this topic. Until next time, I've been Uncivil Law, and make sure to keep it uncivil out there. Cheers and goodbye.
Very nice. But there you go.
Here's a legal...
First... No. Legal mindset, why? I mean, not legal mindset, legal eagle. Why the fuck did legal eagle show up in my goddamn feed? Autoplay, so gross. Alright. So. There we go. The judge can't reoffend Hawkeye. She retired. So, unless she gets back on I think what would happen if she comes out of retirement and tries to resume her service on the bench, I'm willing to bet the government will actually bring charges against her then. I think that's what'll happen. So, yes, it sucks that she's kind of quote-unquote getting away with it, but no, there's no way she's gonna be even given a chance to reoffend. In response to the protective order, she retired. And unless she stays in retirement, I guarantee you, that's what the state has over her. Was that a Pip-Boy sound? Yes, it was. Do you like it? It's my Opera GX stuff, and listen, it has Pip-Boy typing noises, listen. Alright. So, next we have, is it kind of a two-part? Yeah, it's a two-parter. But this goes, basically this is, Hunter Harassment. Is what it says. This is from a, relatively small account called Homeschool Hunter, but this is from a year ago. It says, Hunter Harassment of Dad and 14-year-old Daughter's First Bowhunt. There's a language warning on it. It's only about 11 minutes long. It's a setup for what we have posted 4 days ago by the same channel, entitled Guilty. Hunter Harassment Update. Full court transcript plus 1 million views on original video. So it looks like he actually does have a full video on what happens, but it sounds like he takes his daughter out bull hunting, and apparently some guy fucking comes up and has a problem with it. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna check it out. It's not a bull hunt. A bow hunt. Like B-O-W. Like recurve bow. Actually, I think she's using a compound bow. I use a recurve bow. But, I think that's what's going on. Not a bull... I swear to God! Not an Alaskan bullworm. Everybody be really quiet and just stare. That's my burger. I haven't had it yet. What do you mean, ew? Get the fuck out! I'm streaming! Do you see that? I fixed it. It broke and I fixed it. I am. Sorry, Papa Elfpire came in. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get into this. We're gonna watch the original video, and then we'll watch the update video. So let us see what is going on here.
First of all, language alert on this one. If you want to see a classic case of hunter harassment, this is it. And you can draw your own conclusions from watching this interaction, but I think he was showing terrible etiquette, and then he was gaslighting me by saying I was showing bad etiquette. And by the way, this is my daughter's first ever bow hunt for deer, and this is public hunting land in South Dakota. It's on a land called walk-in land, which is open to public hunting. And this guy had a motion-sensing cell phone trail camera guarding the only entrance of this public hunting land. And I could see his camera going off early in the morning when we walked in, so he knew we were there.
What's going on? What the fuck are you doing? Walking. What? You didn't see anything sitting here?
We can sit here just because you have a truck
there. No, Kara. Tree, stand up there.
This one I gotta film this because this is hunter harassment.
No, it isn't. I'm checking my camera because it's getting low.
Okay.
You're harassment because you come in here and are fucking up my hunting area.
This is not you.
Yeah, dude, you came up. Yeah, first of all, really upset that you come up, you bang the fence, you come up waving and fucking clearly doing whatever you can to scare off any deer that might be in the area. You cannot just set up some cell phone trail cam and go, this is my area, I'm the one who hunts here. Fuck you, man. Oh, man. Okay. Everyone just take a deep breath. It's okay. Count to 10 in your mind. Let's continue.
You're hunting here. This is public land. What are you talking about?
This ain't public land. This is private.
This is walk-in land.
Walk-in now.
It's walk-in land.
You're not teaching a young hunter very good etiquette.
You are hunter harassing.
No, I'm not.
Don't you fucking... Ew. I'm gonna make angry noises here for a second, but don't you fucking dare. Point at, look at, I don't even want you even fucking in the line of sight of my 14-year-old daughter. Don't you fucking try and bring her in this and fucking, oh, you're not fucking setting a good example. I'll set a good example by freaking kicking your ass.
I was up here hunting.
Yep, and
and you came bust.
Wait. I love just the fucking, the quick cut to the harassment statutes. No person may intentionally interfere with any person or group of persons lawfully engage in the process of taking or attempting to take any game or fish. No person may engage in any activity specifically intended to harass or otherwise prevent the lawful taking of any game or fish. No person may engage in any activity to scare or disturb any game with specific intent to prevent any their lawful taking. This section may not be construed to prohibit a landowner from revoking a prior granted permission to hunt on his land. A violation of any provision of this section is a Class 2 misdemeanor. The elf. I hate when fucking Kevins and Karens go up to people enjoying their life, enjoying the outdoors, living the fucking their life, engaging in public lands, and them acting like they have a fucking problem with it. I think there was a couple weeks ago that we watched that drunk fucking HOA owner fucking literally walk up to kids who were just fishing, and that guy fucking broke the goddamn fishing rod over his knee. Blatantly illegal harassment, assault, all kinds of shit, that it would destruction of property, but these people think they have some weird entitlement. It just gets me going. Okay. You know what really grinds my gears?
I was up here hunting.
Yep,
and you came busting up here. Yeah, you can't come up here.
Getting low on battery.
I'm sitting next to him. It doesn't mean you can come up and check it. Go ahead and change it. Hop out of here.
I will.
Go ahead.
I will.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you.
Not very good at hunter etiquette.
Exactly. You're up here talking in full voice, and you're complaining about my hunter etiquette. I'm hunting.
I don't care.
Well, I'm glad.
I've been hunting for so many years. Everybody's doing this to me all the time.
I get it. Well, now it's your turn, I guess, because just because other people do it to you doesn't mean you should do it to other people.
Well, then show a little etiquette. This is Hunter etiquette. Look at the camera.
I can sit here.
You want me to take pictures of that? I'll take pictures of you too.
Go ahead. Doesn't bother me. I'm not doing anything illegal. You're the one who's
Why
Hunter
can't
harassing.
you replace the battery?
This is my camera. It was
you should
know that.
Okay, that's great. It's your camera. All you did is open up the fucking faceplate to get the camera out. Let me see you reach into your pocket, pull out the batteries, actually do the replacements that you need to, because this is weird.
I'm hunting here then. You should know that I'm up here hunting then. I saw it going off. You knew I was here. Yes, you did. I saw the infrared going off in the dark this morning. You know I was here. Just change your batteries and leave. Just change your batteries and leave.
So I will.
Appreciate it.
This is not a good way to teach you.
He took 8 minutes to fucking. I'm sorry.
You're the one who's coming up here messing up.
He took 8 minutes to change the batteries on his trail cams. This is, oh my god.
Or hunt.
There was somebody hunting here with all this stuff.
It doesn't matter if no, there's nobody else hunting here this morning.
No, not right now.
Of course not right now.
You know where how you're
just because somebody hunted here in the past means I can't hunt on public land. Give me a break. Get out of here.
In the past, it's not past. And actually, this just went into. Freddie used to have this.
I don't care if it was never public land for 1,000 years. It's public land right now. Yep. I'm hunting public land.
Yeah,
you came up here and
messed with me. The wind is blowing.
It doesn't matter.
Do you know which way the wind is blowing?
It doesn't matter how I hunt. I can hunt.
Here, that's gonna go. They're gonna blow out.
Doesn't matter how I hunt.
So.
Doesn't matter how I hunt.
I know. Apparently, you're gonna have fun.
Yeah, this is harassment. Yeah, you are quite literally interfering in their ability to get hunt or gather, fish or game. No, and you're trying to start a fight. You're literally trying to start a fight. I really don't like this.
I'm getting something.
Dude, this is a lot of cuts.
Just reported for Hunter Harassment.
There you go.
To mess with people's huts, interfere with their huts.
It is. Good on you. Oh, bug coming. Come on, girl, get a shot off. It'd be so cool if she gets her first shot off. Yeah, there he is. Okay, he's pretty far away right now.
That's a nice one, wow.
Oh yeah!
Get nervous.
Looks like a decent one.
Okay, good. Better. Yeah, he's making a scrape.
They're doing some scraping. What are we looking
distracted, okay?
Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It looks like a 5 point. Yeah, 5 point book, maybe 6. And 6. Yeah, it looks like a 6.
Scraping away. Like that.
Yeah, that's your that's your decoy. Shut up, girl Kimbachi. Can I get some?
Sees the decoy.
Yeah, he sees him. Well, sees her, rather. Come on over, buddy. Ain't nothing gonna happen, I promise. I didn't get a deer this year. Would've been cool. Oh. Is that? No, that's still the same. Yo, 6, come on. Come on over, buddy. Oh, he has 0.7 just starting to grow. Agricola, we have a half dozen deer in our yard every night as well. Where I am up here right now. Our fucking... Okay, hold on real quick. Our cat literally runs with the deer. In fact, I have a fucking I have an AI gen of him doing it because my Papa Elfpire was out there and watched him running and frolicking and playing with the fucking deer, guys. You have to see this. It's crazy. People don't believe me, and I'm like, no, you have to see this. Hold on. Where did I put it? This is the question. Oh, man, I don't know where it is, actually. I have to find it. Oh, wait, no, that would be an... That's right, I have an AI folder. Let's see here. Pictures. Come here, this PC. Pictures, AI art, here we go. I'm sure it's around here. Oh my god, it might not be. Oh, no, there it is. That's one of them. Hold on, that's not the good one, though. Okay, guys, there's this one. But this one's messed up because, look. There's just a floating tail in the middle of it. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. They see it out of the feeders. Oh, okay, gotcha. If you can actually go to Tractor Supply, and you can get like these big bags of like they're like feeding apples, and you can actually like throw out a couple apples of these simple apples, and they're actually pretty good and nutritious for the deer and shit. But anywho, geez, let's get back to the video.
Get ready. Know which way the wind is blowing?
It doesn't matter how I hunt. I can hunt.
Here, that's gonna go. They're gonna blow out.
Doesn't matter how I hunt.
So.
Doesn't matter how I hunt.
Sounds like the night shift. Okay. Oh, he's coming right up. Come on, she's gonna get this. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, there you go. Draw back, you got it. Come on, come on, come on.
Go.
Come on, come on.
Go ahead.
Right there,
Go
right
ahead.
there, right there.
Good.
There, you got her. Got him. Right, that was a good shot.
Yeah,
that was a good hit.
Look high. Oh, shoot. Wow, buddy.
It did look a little high.
That was like 15 yards.
That was pretty good, though. Yeah, she got him.
That was a fun hunt. Holy cow.
Testita, thank you for the 2. Eva calling the deer over like it's okay. It is not BWC Friday. Okay, first of all. That was a horrible time. Filled with horrible things. Us having to read Turkey Tom's freaking text message exchanges.
Should have told you to take your time. Shoot, buddy. I can't believe you got your bow back.
I was like behind you, sort of. So
yeah. It's okay, we'll give him some time. I don't think we're gonna recover him, but we're gonna try. We're gonna leave for at least a couple hours here. Probably 5 hours and come back this afternoon. We're gonna go look at the footage and look at the night roster shot. That's what happens when your first deer comes out. It's a monster buck. First deer ever.
You got him right in the...
Yeah,
it's surviving that.
Anything else?
Hold on, I'll show you guys real quick. I'll show you why it's gonna survive this. Look at this. Got it going for... Okay, there's when it hits. Wow, it actually started reacting before it hit. But look at... Give me a good frame, please. There we go. That's about as clear of a frame as I can get. But you see how... Okay, so here's the deer's head and its spine. Right around its spine is some of its thickest fucking muscle and meat. Okay, so that just hit really thick muscle and meat. It's not gonna hurt at all. It needed to be probably about right here for it to have a chance of being a decent lung shot if the rib didn't deflect the arrow, sorry. But exactly, for her first shot, she still landed it pretty cool. And, you know, yeah, and that's
first deer
cool.
comes out and is a monster.
Yeah, I'd say it's closer to the shoulder. I think you're right.
First deer ever. Yeah,
good on you, girl.
Anything else? Nice job. Look at this. He's coughing up blood. He's coughing it. I think we got a lung, buddy. I think you got a lung.
No, wait. Did you actually get a lung? Wait a minute. Wow. I'm not gonna go back because you two might fucking freak out for showing blood on screen. But that did look like it was coughing up blood. If it's coughing up blood, that means a lung shot.
All right. Well, we're not finding this deer. One of the problems in South Dakota is they have this goofy law that states you can't search for your deer unless you get permission if it goes onto somebody else's land. Some states don't have that, some states do, but South Dakota has that law. And the guy that was harassing us this morning, he leases that hunting land where this buck ran onto, so I know for sure he's not gonna let us go out there. And I can't get a hold of the guy who actually owns the land. So we kind of...
Damn! That's super annoying. That is super annoying.
Followed the blood trail up to a dead end on the fence
man.
on where it goes onto the other guy's land. It's super frustrating. They need to change this law and basically let people go look for your deer after you shoot it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Retrieving wounded game should absolutely
are unarmed on other people's land. So that's too bad. I mean, I'm still searching around just in case it circled back and went and bedded down somewhere, but basically that's the end of it. We tried. Can't find the deer.
Damn, that's shitty. That's really shitty. But that was all there we go. That was all the setup for this guy. Homeschool Hunter. This guy, I guess, he quit and started homeschooling his kids and stuff like that because he was part of the education system over there and he just didn't like it. So he's like, fuck it. I'm pulling myself out of the school system. I'm pulling my kids out. I'm gonna teach them shit they actually need to know. And that's like pretty much the base thing here. But he has an update for us. So we're going to check that out. And I think just for time saver's sake, because we still have 1, 2, 3, 4 videos, we're going to put it at 1.25. So here we go.
This is an update, a highly, highly requested update on the Hunter harassment legal case from 1 year ago, where me and my 14-year-old daughter were harassed while hunting, and where my daughter wounded a nice buck with a high shot from her bow. I'm going to show you the actual court transcript, show you how this guy is still harassing people, but first, a bit of background on this case. The Hunter harassment...
It's not that I don't disagree with the law, Saper. It's just that I think there's, especially when it comes to hunting and retrieving wounded game, because here's the thing. Let's say that thing, it gets wounded. It wanders onto your property. You don't let anybody on your property to get your land, but you have a spring running through your land. That deer dies and rots on your spring and fucking poisons the water supply for everybody downriver. Yeah, all of a sudden, that's an issue, right? I think, in my opinion, that these laws need some nuance treated with them, and there needs to be some responsibility of the person who wounded an animal to be able to retrieve that animal.
The video now has well over 1 million views. Just to review what happened in the video, I had taken my 14-year-old daughter on her first bow hunt on a piece of walk-in public land on November 10th during the rut. I hunt all over the country, over 20 different states, as you can see from my other YouTube videos, but South Dakota is one of my favorite states because it has a huge amount of public hunting land via their walk-in public land program. Another thing that is unique here in South Dakota is that there are hardly any trees. So this piece of walk-in public land is excellent because 1, it has trees, and 2, it's surrounded by typical South Dakota grasslands. That forces the bucks from the surrounding tree lines on private land to travel through this one specific funnel area during the rut, and that funnel is found on this walk-in public land. The other unique thing about this property, it is only accessible via one single overgrown road. Most public land properties can be accessed from many different directions, but this piece has only one single entry point, which again is an overgrown road. Why does it matter? Well, This single entry point is guarded by a cell phone trail cam, a motion sensing camera that sends photos in real time to a cell phone owned by a guy from North Dakota named Richard Naust. He still runs a cell phone trail camera on this spot, by the way, but more on that later. The point is, Dick from North Dakota monitors this property like a hawk, even though he's not from South Dakota, he's from North Dakota. So going back to last year's harassment hunt, I had scouted this property earlier in the season.
So this guy's, like, primary residence is literally in the state north of him, but he leases the hunting land down here, and I really don't like this. I really don't like this. So this guy obviously owns and leases the surrounding land around this free hunting land. He doesn't even live in the state. But he is going to regulate, dictate, and kind of act like the fucking owner of the castle here on this little walk-in public hunting land that only has one overgrown ingress, way of entering that property. That's pretty fucked. That's extremely fucked.
And I had bow hunted here myself, but on this particular morning, I had taken my daughter out to hunt. It was her first ever bow hunt, and I chose this day because the conditions were perfect. The wind was very consistent, but not too strong, and it had just rained, so bucks were running their scrape lines, refreshing all the scent that was washed off during the rainstorm. Hunting after a rainstorm during the rut is probably the best time to hunt, period.
Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, absolutely.
Always, it was a lot of work to get to our spot because I carry a lot of camera gear, but I also lugged in a Dave Smith decoy, a buck decoy. Having a decoy makes bucks focus on the decoy, which leads to better opportunities to film and draw back a bow from the ground with minimal cover, which this spot has. Ground hunting bucks is one of the most difficult ways to hunt, especially in open country like South Dakota, but it's my favorite style of hunting, so that's what we were doing. Anyway, as we entered this walk-in hunting property early in the morning, it was dark, and I could see the infrared lights on Dick's cell trail camera starting to glow. So I knew he was getting real-time video or real-time pictures of us at the spot. But this was unavoidable, so I just ignored it, and I staked up the decoy in the dark. And we sat still and started waiting for daylight to watch for bucks. Now, in case you wonder why we chose this exact spot right next to Dick's trail cam, it's because behind us is a huge scrape that the bucks frequent, so it's an obvious focal point, but also because the wind pushes our scent out across an open grassland area if we sit in this corner.
I'm hunting public land. Yeah, you came up here and
which way the wind is blowing?
It doesn't matter.
Do you know which way the wind is blowing?
It doesn't matter how I hunt. I can hunt.
They're gonna blow out.
Doesn't matter how I hunt.
So
doesn't matter how I hunt.
I know. Apparently, you're gonna have fun getting something.
Wow, I just I mean, I'm really not liking this guy. Really not liking this guy.
In addition, most of the trees on this piece of public land are buckthorn, and buckthorn is too thick to shoot an arrow into, so you need to be on the downwind edge of the lone buckthorn patch with plenty of clearance from the actual thorn shrubs. And there happened to be an old pile of barbed wire and sticks here, so it gave us a good hiding spot. It was clearly good because we ended up with a 15-yard shot on a nice buck. Now, on the harassment video from last year, some people were commenting about us hunting right next to Richard's trail cam, which is a valid concern. You need to realize, though, that this was really the only choice considering the wind direction on this morning and on this particular spot. Also,
yeah, let's be real, though, and this is an issue, like, in hunting culture, and I think some of the more pretentious and snobby hunters need to understand this. You setting up a fucking hunting cam in public land does not claim that spot. I'm sorry, if you set up a cam and set up everything and then you fucking leave to God's nowhere to let technology do what you should be doing yourself and what you should be there in person to do. I'm sorry, if someone decides to come over and set up right next to your trail cam and fucking hunt there on public land, that's their prerogative and that's on you. Yeah, a trail cam is not a dibs meaner. Like, come on, this isn't like shotgun, but for hunting spots.
From what I can tell, Dick had at least 35 cell phone trail cameras in this area. He has the cameras
He had how many? I'm sorry, what?
Dick had at least 35 cell
30 fucking 5? 35 fucking gets ridiculous. This is a guy who's I feel like he's monopolizing this public land. He owns the fucking forest and the hunting lands. He leases them out. And I think that this is a way for him to control and figure out who goes through here and who might fucking... Okay, here, let me just calm down and explain what's going on here. This is publicly accessible land. It's a walk-in hunting place. But all of the land around it is obviously owned and leased out by him, and it's owned and leased out hunting land. So its only purpose is for hunting. I guarantee you what this man has done is he set up a bunch of trail cams facing the public fucking hunting land so that he can determine who gets what, who's there and whatever, and he can, guess what, give you a good deal to go into his lands to fucking get your wounded animal. This dude is quite literally monopolizing probably one of the few major, like, good fucking public hunting spots in the area, and he's using his status as the surrounding land owner to fucking do it. It's pretty gross.
Phone trail cameras in this area. He has the cameras numbered, so basically no matter where you want to hunt, you'll be near one of Dick's numerous cell phone trail cams. I hunt all over this region of South Dakota, and I see cell phone trail cameras on most of the properties in this area. And the trail cameras are aimed at obvious rut funnels where the bucks travel. So if you try to avoid hunting near trail cameras, you'll find yourself just sitting out in the grasslands away from all the rut action. And why do I think these cameras are owned by Dick in this region? Because all the cell phone trail cameras have these handwritten numbers on the outside of the camera case. So I'm not 100% sure they're all Dick's, but they all are the same brand and have the same handwriting. But anyway, they're unavoidable, so I just ignore these privacy-invading units, and I hunt wherever I think is best, based on the wind. On most spots where I can see a trail camera, I do try to circle the camera to avoid triggering it, but on the harassment spot, it's literally impossible unless you trespass on the land that Dick apparently leases.
You're harassment because you come in here and are fucking up my hunting area. You're fucking up my hunting area.
And one thing that I've never shown was this huge buck we saw earlier in the morning last year, before Dick came up and harassed us. This beast saw our decoy, but being a typical smart old buck, he was suspicious and he didn't come over to investigate. I barely had time to film him before he walked off. Seeing this buck was an amazing start to our hunt, but literally just a few minutes after that buck came through, I hear a loud banging on the entry gate and I see Dick throwing his arms up, cussing at us in a loud voice, as you've seen from the original.
Okay, so what happened is he was after that big buck and you guys got in the way. That's what fucking happened.
Harassment video.
What's going on? What the fuck are you doing? I'm walking.
I was lucky to have a GoPro going through this entire entry time, and I gave 100% of my raw video files to the lawyers and to Fish, Game, and Parks for the legal case because my GoPro caught everything. By the time I turned on my phone to film, Dick toned down his anger a bit. So the fact that I run GoPro 100% of the time while I hunt was key in this legal case. Now, after he approached us, Dick stayed at the spot for over 8 minutes talking in full voice and telling us this was his spot, and his tree stand was right there about 40 yards away, and he's hunted here forever, and things like that. Another thing I didn't include in the original harassment video that you saw, I actually stopped recording with my phone and I tried calling the game warden. My GoPro is still running, so I have the never before seen footage. You can see me here trying to make that phone call because I have the local game warden's phone number saved on my phone, but the warden did not pick up at that time. The warden did actually call me back while I was still out there hunting, but Dick was gone by then. In fact, the warden drove out to the spot while we were packing up our gear, and I didn't film the interaction, but he met me at the car and I reported the harassment. The legal system had access to our talk because of his body cam, but he just had me write down my side of the story, and I gave him all my raw video footage. It was over 50 gigabytes, by the way. And one thing that was interesting from that conversation as well is in conversations with other people from that area, they all knew about the North Dakota guy. And they've had other issues with the Hunter harassment in this area.
No. Oh, no, that's not good. One, Agricola says there are whitetails and moo in South Dakota. I think that's true, yeah. But this is bad if the Department of Fish and Game are familiar with this guy as the fucking Dakota guy. That's not good. That's not good. You have a fucking reputation amongst the people that you should be an unknown to these departments. If you want to be a good hunter who fucking, stays under the radar. Yeah, he's infamous. He's absolutely infamous.
And one thing that was interesting from that conversation as well is in conversations with other people from that area, they all knew about the North Dakota guy. And they've had other issues with the hunter harassment in this area from a North Dakota guy. But nobody had anything on video, so it was all just hearsay. But I honestly think that similar harassment encounters are a common occurrence with Dick, where he would see hunters in his spots, truck over to those spots from North Dakota, and loudly explain how they had bad etiquette by hunting in the obvious rut funnels, and how these funnels are his spots.
Exactly. You're up here talking in full voice, and you're complaining about my hunter etiquette. I'm hunting.
I don't care. Well, then show a little etiquette. This is hunter etiquette. Look at camera.
I can sit here.
You want me to take pictures of that? I'll take pictures of you too.
Go ahead. Doesn't bother me. I'm not doing anything illegal. You're the one who's hunter harassed.
No, I'm not. This is my camera.
Meanwhile, nobody knew his actual name. They all called him the North Dakota guy, and even the local lawyer helped me out and ID'd the guy, who turned out to be Richard Dick Naust.
Yeah,
One last thing, by the way, of updating you about the hunt last year. My daughter was shooting expandable broadheads with a light poundage bow, which was a mistake on my part. I clearly should have been using fixed blade broadheads, which I will be doing going forward from now on with my kids. But crazy enough, the buck survived this shot, and I'll show you the footage of that at the end of this video. But now I want to switch gears and talk about the legal case and how that went down. First, it took almost exactly a full year to bring this case in front of a judge. The court date was October 28th. I thought about going to the court in Webster, South Dakota and filming for you all, but I went hunting instead. I'd rather hunt on a...
Okay, this guy is a true man's man. This man was like, hey, I could go up to where this fucking trial, where this hearing is, and record it for everybody, but I'd rather go hunting. And honestly, for a channel called Homeschool Hunter, I wouldn't expect anything less.
October 28th and sit in the courtroom. In fact, I went
Ronan, how's it going?
hunting on the exact spot where we were harassed because I knew Dick was in court, so he wouldn't be coming up there with a handgun and shooting us while we hunted. And again, more on that hunt later. So the case took about a year, and a few months after that,
no, I stream also on Kick on Tuesday nights. So is it Tuesday? Yeah, so tonight, after this, in actually a little less than 2 hours, I go over on Kick, and we are actually going to start the first season of Stranger Things with one of my collab mates, Mama Oko.
I also finally received the full court transcripts from this case. So that's why this video update took so long. Now, from last year's video, there are over 5,000 comments. So I asked the AI Grok, what is a short summary of the biggest topics discussed in the comments from this video? And I linked the hunter harassment video. Grok says, the biggest topic discussed is a strong condemnation of the harasser's entitled and rude behavior, particularly his profanity in front of a minor, along with the widespread praise for the father's calm handling of the situation, his parenting, and the daughter's composure. I think this video received so many views because most hunters have experienced situations that are similar to mine, so people relate strongly to this video. Most people just don't capture these events on film, so they never get prosecuted. I hunt about 100 days of the year, so I run into this more often than most people, but a ton of people relate to this type of scenario. So this video is dedicated to all of you who have been harassed while hunting, but were never able to bring the situation to justice because you didn't have a GoPro running. This one's for you. Now, like I said earlier, I'm confident if I didn't have a full video on this case, the guy would have denied everything and he would not be pleading guilty in this case.
Oh, so he pled guilty. So he pled out. Did you hear that, everybody? This cat. Okay, so, oh wow, that makes it even better.
I say this because he basically said this in court, which I'll show you. So this is the legal document of the court transcript.
Okay.
Note that the date was October 28th.
Wait, hold on.
On the exact same morning, this is a video from me. I said this in court, which I'll show you.
Thank you. Okay, state of South Dakota, plaintiff versus defendant. Okay, well, it says state of South, so this is criminal. Probably. Initial appearance. Okay, so I can get this for us. Give me a second. I only wanted to pause for this reason. Let me go to this other page I have here. And then I can type in South Dakota. Case number 43CRI25-000045. Hey, look at that. I think I found it. Okay, well.
So this is the legal document of the court transcript. Note the date was October 28th. On the exact same morning, this is a video from me.
Looking for that. Well, welcome back, South Dakota public land. It is October 28th today. It's the first time we've hunted this spot where we got harassed
since
last
everything
year.
happened, yeah.
And the irony is, the guy who harassed us, his name is Richard, he's going to court today and to go in front of the judge to see if he pleads guilty for hunter harassment or not. So this is a little update video on the hunter harassment. Let's get after it. See you on the other side.
Meanwhile, back at court, the judge said to Richard, "This is a complaint filed against you alleging that on or about November 10th, 2024, and it gives the location, you did commit the offense of interference with lawful hunting in that you did intentionally interfere with one Anthony J. and a minor child while they were legally engaged in the process of hunting, specifically archery hunting. This is a Class 2 misdemeanor, which carries a max penalty of 30 days in jail, a $500 fine, or both." They ask if he understands, and Dick says yes. The judge then explains his rights and other information about potential jury trials, and then asks, "So as to the charge set forth in the complaint, what is your plea?" Dick, "I plead guilty on reason of on tape or whatever." Judge, "You're pleading guilty?" Dick, pleading guilty.
He quite literally said, "I plead guilty because I'm on fucking camera." Holy shit. It's us there in 4K, chat. It's literally here in 4K. This is fucking great. I plead guilty on reason of on tape or whatever. Just the fucking greatest. Oh, that's the greatest plea I've ever read in my life.
I'll interject here and say, if this situation wasn't on camera, I'm very confident there wouldn't be a guilty plea here, because he specifically mentions me having this on tape, so he can't wriggle out of it. Next, the judge asks Dick to explain himself by saying, "What happened in this instance?" And Dick goes into a long backstory about how he's been hunting there for 39 years, once again establishing that he thinks he sort of...
Okay, hold on. So the reason why this is happening, you want me to explain a little bit? Yeah, what did you do? I'm asking you in your words what you did. Because you just pled guilty. So that means you did something. What did you do? It's important for judges, when someone enters a guilty plea, you have to be extremely conscientious and make sure that the defendant is fully aware of what they are admitting to. Not only that, but you actually want to look into how they are reacting to the accusations and how they're reacting to the plea in general. If they are contrite with the court, if they seem regretful or remorseful in their actions, the judge is going to actually consider that's going to actually weigh on sentencing and on the punishment. That could very well, him being regretful and truly remorseful for what he did to Anthony and his daughter, could quite literally make this from 30 days in jail and $500 fine to just a $500 fine, or maybe no jail time, or maybe only a week in jail, who knows. But if he shows a lack of respect to the court and a lack of regret or remorse, well, the judge will actually have that inform their decision as well. It's the difference between mitigating and aggravating circumstances.
A long backstory about how he's been hunting there for 39 years, once again establishing that he thinks he sort of owns this area as his personal hunting ground.
Okay. You're harassment because you come in here and are fucking up my hunting area. This is not your hunting area. This is...
And he goes on, "And I had my camera out, and they hunted around it, and that was fine. But when they set up, and I had a hand in front of my camera that morning, I went out there because I've had other cameras that have been broken, stolen, SD cards stolen. And until he touched..."
Oh, you fucked up. Why would... He doesn't have any regret or remorse. He's in fact trying to justify the reason why he did what he did. Well, I did what I did, but it's only because I thought they were going to steal my camera. No, you fucking didn't. They were hunting. No, he's not remorseful. This is what I meant. The judge asked a very specific question for a reason. You know, what happened, Judge, is I was out there. I had a bunch of cameras out there. I saw them come out there. I got overly protective over what I consider my spot and my claim, and I did something I shouldn't have. I'm very sorry, Judge. That could have been his response, and it would have gone a lot better than this fucking string of bullshit coming out of his mouth right now.
My camera, by the way, I've never touched his camera, and was right in front of it. I thought they were doing something with my camera, so I went out there. Plus, I needed to change my batteries anyway. Again, I'm going to interject here. On the original harassment video, among the 5,000 plus comments, it was common for people to say things like, "You should have taken his camera," and similar things like that. I think he's had a number of cameras and SD.
Yeah, see, this is an issue. And this is why this guy's really smart. Any action that you take on the camera itself, that, I'm sorry, he's got you for destruction of property or not. Whether or not you could make an argument that, well, he left his camera out in public land where anyone could grab it. You know, it doesn't really matter. You still, you know, either stole his property, destroyed his property, vandalized his property, doesn't matter. You can't do that. Exactly. Don't destroy the cameras. Everything the guy did had nothing to do with even touching the camera, and he's the winner here. Remember that.
Card stolen because of his harassment.
An interesting question. Could the landowner who leases this land to Richard open himself up to liability if Richard does this to other people after this case? I wouldn't say open up to liability, but what might end up happening is the courts or an authority of some kind might try and get in touch with the actual owner of the land, not just the leaser, and be like, look, this is a consistent issue. Can we maybe look at like what your lease agreement is with this Richard person? I wouldn't say it leaves the landowner open or liable to any kind of litigation, but it could open the door to somebody having a conversation with the landowner about the lease agreement and the terms of that lease.
Harassment behavior, but I'm just guessing. Anyway, the judge starts getting annoyed with all the sob stories about Dick's prior cameras being stolen and says, "Well, okay, so you went out there, but you must have done something. What did you do?" Dick, "Well, I asked him what he was doing." Judge, "And did you ask that in a polite way, or what did you do?" Dick, "Well, I did raise my voice, and I do have a loud voice." Then he says he quieted down right away. The next thing that was noted from Dick was, he filmed me right away when I came out there and put it on Facebook or YouTube, and he didn't tell the whole true story about it. Judge, "Well, it's a film, so it would show what happened, correct?" Dick, "Yes, you can see me come out there, and I did confront them because they're right in with my camera. And I asked them what they were doing, and I said this isn't very ethical." The judge, "Well, sir, now I'm going to tell you something. I bow hunted for more than you, okay? And I've never taken the position that I could just put up a trail camera and keep everybody else out of public land. Is that..."
I'm sorry. I'm not... Oh my god. So this boomer judge has probably been hunting these fucking backwoods since he was a teenager, and now he's on a bench watching some fucking asshole that he's probably had to deal with these types for a long time, right? Yeah, we have a bow hunting judge. We have a bow hunting judge, guys. He's like, yeah, no, this is so fucking good. This is like the ultimate karma for fucking Richard here.
That what you're telling me? Dick, no, I am not. What I'm saying is he was monkeying with my camera, like I said, and I didn't trust that. Again, I'm going to interject here and say, this is a lie. If I was monkeying with his camera, he would have shown that video or that picture of me touching or messing with his property. I promise 100%. You that. There is no such video or photos, but back to the court transcript. The judge, well, do you have any proof of any of those things? Dick, well, I have, yeah, the game warden. I talked to the game warden earlier that there's the court. I don't mean what you're saying. I mean, you're saying that there's a video of this, correct? Dick, I didn't take it. I didn't do it. So he's saying I messed with his camera, but he didn't take it, whatever that means. That's just the judge calling his bluff, and Dick saying some nonsensical words. There's video of...
No. Just because the judge happens to be a hunter, that would not open up, that wouldn't create an inappropriate view of, like, a view of impropriety going on, right? Now, what would create, what would force, because Chibugamo actually gives a good question here. What for this bow hunting judge would be enough for the judge to be required under the rules that we just heard on the last video for the judge to recuse himself. Well, if the judge actually knew him, had a conversation with him, was friendly with him or anything before this case, that might open up to a recusal. But that's really the only way that that's going to happen. Just because the judge happens to bow hunt in his spare time, honestly, gives him it just more of gives him context to the situation and allows him to interpret the law from a position of experience rather than just someone reading a book. If the judge hunts that land as well, no, that probably wouldn't.
Me monkeying with his camera, but when the judge asks for it, Dick says, I didn't take it, I didn't do it. Those cameras are automatic. They take everything. You can even get the pictures from the cloud later if you need them. But anyway, the judge goes on to ask about me monkeying with that camera. So if he filmed that, that would be on there, wouldn't it? Dick, he did not film that part of it. Judge, no, but I mean, if he was filming, it would show as you walk up, correct? Dick, yes. The judge then asks the lawyer, Mr. Hoffman, are you aware of the video? Mr. Hoffman, I am, Your Honor. I've watched the entirety of the video. Again, they have possession of my entire 4-hour hunt from that morning, so nothing was cut from what the lawyers have seen. Mr. Hoffman, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how long it is, but it shows, I think there might be a little bit of the, that initial contact, you can say, that might not be on there. I'm not positive about that, but the greater majority of the interaction was all recorded. Judge, Mr. Noust, do you care if the court finds this video and looks at it? He's referring just to the YouTube video here, by the way. Dick, yes, but it doesn't have everything on it. Like I said, but yes, they can do that if they would like. Judge, Mr. Hoffman, do you have the website? So Mr. Hoffman has the full video, but long story short is the judge actually goes directly to YouTube and plays the same video that you all watched that has over 1 million views. The judge, it pops up right here. I typed in Hunter Harassment. There's Mr. Noust. Mr. Noust, why don't you come up here and stand here and we'll watch this together? I believe you can come all the way up here. So they watched the video confrontation.
Oh, Jesus, when the judge breaks up a YouTube video and goes, yeah, actually, it was the first thing I just typed in Hunter Harassment and you were the first fucking result. Mr. Haas, why don't you come off here and we're gonna watch a video together and you're gonna tell me what you learned. Holy shit.
On the YouTube format. Here's what Dick says next, presumably referring to why he came out and confronted us while we were hunting. The only reason because he was up there and they were because they were hunting off this and didn't ever monkey with my camera, but here he was monkeying with my camera. Again, he is lying here because nobody was monkeying with his camera or he would have presented actual evidence. But the next thing he says is creepy. Dick, and then to be honest with you, he was just out there this morning hunting. So here he is in court admitting that he's spying on me while I hunt there on that very same day. This year. Again, this is creepy, but it shows how closely he monitors that entry point to this public land piece, even a full year later.
That's fucking wild. Wait a minute. Did he actually...
spying on me while I hunt this morning.
And then to be honest with you, he was just out there this morning hunting. You admitted that to a judge. Yeah, Judge, my camera that's out on public land is there right now, and I can see him there. So you mean to tell me you're actively monitoring the subject of the reason why we're in court right now? You're actively monitoring that. And, oh my fucking God. Okay, I'm okay. Then this is surveillance. Exactly, Death the Goat. Exactly. You win the brownie points for today.
So here he is in court admitting that he's spying on me while I hunt there on that very same day. This year. Again, this is creepy, but it shows how closely he monitors that entry point to this public land piece, even a full year later. Anyway, next, Dick refers back to last year and tells a story about the day he harassed us. And there was some gun hunters coming up there in arms, tribal licenses guys, and I told them, don't go up there because there's some people up there bow hunting. They were headed right up there to go gun hunting. I told them there was a fellow out there with his kid and they were bow hunting. So please don't bother them. And that's the God's honest truth on the way when I'll be honest, I was sad and upset that I did this because apparently he wasn't doing anything. They were hunting, but I didn't trust it. So I'll explain this based on my knowledge of this area. So first of all, he just said I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't touching his camera or anything else, but I'll also explain this based on my knowledge of this area in South Dakota. Here, Indian land is common. They call it BIA roads or BIA land, which means Bureau of Indian Affairs. So don't tell me to say Native American first. It's literally BIA.gov. Anyway, there are some tribal lands nearby, and Dick is literally admitting to messing up someone else's hunt while he's pleading guilty for messing up my hunt. Apparently, while he was walking down this overgrown road after harassing us, he ran.
So, in your defense to the judge about why you were committing hunter harassment, you admit to committing 3 more acts of hunter's harassment, impeding them in their what is going on. Who is this guy? Who? Okay, this is just like, come on.
Ran into some other hunters. The Indian gun season is early, so I was bow hunting, but they can gun hunt. He ran into some deer hunters and politely told them, please, oh please, from the goodness of your heart, don't bother that nice fellow and his kid up there that are hunting in my spot.
You're fucking up my hunting area.
The other funny thing he said there was, apparently I was...
I love the kid. I'm sorry, one more time. You're fucking up my hunting area.
You're fucking up my hunting area.
Oh, man.
The other funny thing he said there was, apparently I wasn't doing anything to his self cam, even though earlier he said I was monkeying with it. Again, he repeated that several times. So after they watched the video, the judge says, Mr. Hoffman, any recommendations on sentencing? Mr. Hoffman says, this is simply unacceptable behavior by a hunter to another hunter. This is something you just do not do. The one thing that frankly bothers me the most about this situation is that it was a cell phone camera. It wasn't your standard trail camera that takes a picture that you have to go pull the card and look at the pictures after the fact. Those pictures are either sent immediately or at certain times of the day. I feel pretty strongly he knew that they were there, and he is using his camera as an excuse to try and either mess up their hunt or get them to leave or whatever it may be. I strongly feel that he knew they were there and he knew exactly what he was doing. Of course, he's going to feel sorry and feel bad about what he did after the fact. Most people do when they have time to reflect and realize that maybe that wasn't the best idea. I'll leave it up to the court as far as fines and court costs. I'm not going to be asking for any jail time. The judge then gives Dick a chance to say something, but he just repeats what he's already been saying. Next, the judge says something really interesting. You know, I have been on this property. I have been there. I have hunted it, turkey hunting, never deer hunting, and there's only one way in, and that's up the section line, correct? I mean, you'd have to come from quite a ways away to get to that corner. Dick, yep, the court. So, I mean, I'm not buying your story, sir. You know, the fact that you tell me that, you tell me all kinds of things, that he was out there before, he never did anything, but...
Yeah, so he's been on that property, which is fine that he hunts the land because it's public land, but it wouldn't create a conflict of interest.
Yet now when you see him on this day, you're there, and you don't. There's not anything from me watching this video of you being concerned about your camera. This is you being concerned about someone else hunting what you proclaim is your spot. Because you see that tree stand over there. You see this camera. That's why you were upset. Be honest about it with me. Don't be trying to blow smoke up my rear that, oh, you were just worried about your camera, because that's clearly not what is indicated on this. And you know that. Dick, both, yep, it was both. The judge. It was more that they were there. I mean, that's very, very abundantly clear. He goes on. I'm trying to be fair to you, but you know, you're not being fair to me. You keep changing your story. First you hunted 39 years, now it's 50 years. Dick, no, I'm sorry. I hunted this 39 years. That would be my 40th year hunting down there, but I have 50-some years experience, if that helps you straighten out. I'm sorry. I don't mean to rattle on here. I am sorry for going out there when I did. I'll be honest with you, I am. I felt bad right after that.
Dude,
and like I said when I was walking...
Dude tried to pump up his numbers of experience like some Trump out of the deal shit. He tried to turn 39 years of hunting into 50 years and the judge called him out on it. That's pretty fucking hilarious.
Right after that end, and I was walking out there and there were some tribal hunters coming in with orange on and rifles, and they were headed right up to that corner because that's where all of them come together, and the tribal land butts up against that, and I asked them not to go up there. And I know nobody knows anything about that besides me and those 2 tribal hunters. I don't even know who they were. The judge. well, I actually want to take your privileges, but I'm not sure I can do it. You, sir, should be ashamed of yourself. You're greedy, you wanted this public land all to yourself, and you marched up. You're worried that it's the peak of the rut, November 10th, and there's somebody on your spot. That's what you were worried about. So I don't believe I can take your privileges. I don't know. It's not mandatory. It doesn't make any cross-reference to loss of privileges. I would like to. If I had it in my power, I would take them from you for a year. Because this type of behavior, the idea...
And this actually kind of strengthens the fact that this judge doesn't need to recuse himself, because they're quite showing, look, if the law allowed me to, I would fucking take your hunting privileges for the next season. But in this law, when it comes to harassment or impedance of another hunter, it's a class 2 misdemeanor, which is punishable by a $500 fine and/or up to 30 days in jail. There is no stipulation for revocation of hunting privileges. And so the judge is acknowledging that and going, even though your behavior pisses me off and I got personal experience as to why this pisses me off. I know you're fucking trying to spin me a wool of yarn, of quoting yarn out of your bullshit, and I'm not buying it. I would like to do a lot more to you than what I can, but the law says I can only do this.
The audacity of you coming into South Dakota and thinking I'm going to put a trail camera up here, and then by God, no one is going to be able to hunt this big walk-in area because it is large and it's good hunting, I'm sure, for deer. And then if somebody does, I'm going to march up there and swear and say, what the F are you doing here? Don't you see that stand? Just obnoxious, sir. You are what hunters give hunters bad names. You, sir, are. Some father and his child are out there trying to have a father-daughter hunt on public land, and you decide you're going to blow up that hunt, not because you were worried about your camera. So the court is going to impose a $500 fine, 30 days in jail with all the jail time suspended on the condition that you pay the fine and costs, and that you have no violations of the law for a period of 1 year.
Damn! Put him on probation for a year. If you fuck up, if you don't pay the fine or anything, that 30 days will be served. So, wow, dude, yeah, this fucking judge gave him just under the max. Well, it's $500 fine and a year of probation, Hawkeye. So it's more than just a $500 fine. He has to keep his nose clean. He has to do everything right for the next year. Otherwise, he gets 30 days in jail.
What I'm telling you, sir, is that if you get picked up for anything in the next year, I will throw your butt in jail for 30 days. Because this type of behavior is not going to be tolerated by me. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should write a letter of apology. And I know when I look at that, this video has 1.2 million views or something like that. Are you not proud of yourself that that's the kind of impression that you left on over 1 million people? Look, because they were so astounded by what you did. And yet you couldn't call yourself a sportsman, aren't you? I bet you believe you're a good sportsman. And yet you go up there and act like you're the king of the world on this public land in front of a little girl. Tough guy.
Holy shit! You were getting fucking ringed by this judge. You did the wrong thing. Richard, my buddy, who, like, hold on, do I have that fucking GIF? I'm pretty sure I do. Hold on, let me GIF favorites. Okay, don't have it. So I'm gonna just do this. I'm sorry. This judge is just fucking going, right? Right? Yeah, so hold on. You guys have to see what, like, this is my reaction, right? Here, let me just bring up my reaction, because it's fucking, this is straight up what I'm feeling right now. Hold on. Stop it. Here we go.
It's the Krusty Burglar!
Oh my God! He's stealing all the burgers! Why, you little... I got you! Yo!
It's all just an act.
Stop! Stop! He's already dead!
He's already dead!
You can go over and take care of the fine at that clerk's office here. You better hope I don't see you again in the next year, because I'm telling you, Mr. Hoffman, right now, that if you get any word that he violated any kind of laws, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, I don't care where it is, I want him brought back to court.
Wow,
so there you have it.
God,
a $500 fine. He can still hunt, and if he repeats the offense, he'll be in jail for 30 days. This is better than nothing. But if he makes enough money to buy a bunch of cell trail cameras, $500 probably isn't a huge inconvenience for this guy, but I'm glad we have some actual closure on the situation. I hope you are too. Now, before I go, I want to show you the hunt from that exact day. While Dick was pleading guilty, I was out hunting. Like I said, I was bow hunting with Lydia. I was using my bow today because I didn't want to wound a buck again with a light poundage bow on this small piece of land. Plus, Lydia and I take turns filming and hunting. Now, the only thing noteworthy that happened to us on this hunt was a big mature buck walked by following a doe, and he stood there for 4 full minutes after I grunted at him. Look at how skinny his face looks, especially compared to last year's buck that Lydia shot and injured. At this point, I'm thinking it's either the same buck that Lydia injured last year or genetically very similar. I'll show you more compelling video in a minute, but I grunted at this buck a bunch, and he definitely saw our decoy, but it's hard to pull a buck away from a doe, especially if that buck has seen your decoy before and has gotten shot when he walked up to this exact decoy.
That's true.
So we couldn't get him to come to bow range. Now here's the crazy part. I went back out hunting to this spot again with my daughter Maggie. Because the wind was different, we were set up about 100 yards from our previous spot, but we still had brought the decoy. Very early in the morning, we see a doe walk by, and not long after, the same buck Lydia and I saw on October 28th.
Oh, there's a turkey. Ready? See him? I think it's a doe. Right back there. Just keep an eye on it. You don't have to film that, just because I think it was just a doe. Film it. That's a buck. Oh, it's a nice buck. Oh, he's looking at us. No, that's bad. That's the same one.
Dude, this dad's so cool.
Exact same one. Hold still, he's looking at us. He saw me move. Yeah. Oh, here we go. He's gonna see the deek. Perfect, buddy. Come on, buddy. See the deek.
Since we were deeper into the rut, I was more aggressive with the calling here, and the buck was definitely more fired up.
I see him. Okay. Hold still. He saw me. So let me shuffle. Excellent.
You gotta be careful with the deer during the rut.
He's coming in. I'm gonna get him. Oh, no, don't turn that way, Joker.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's starting to look, he's doing that square off thing. Look at how fucking taut its tail is. He's fucking all pissed. Oh, What'd you say? What'd you say about my mama?
Oh no, he's gonna leave. Paste. Oh, that's right.
There he goes.
Yesterday, buddy. Just keep filming him, zooming up. Oh, look at that, he can't resist. Can't resist. Man, it's difficult.
Oh, come on, keep getting close.
Oh, he's ticked.
He's all pissed. This fucking branch out of here. He just wants to fight and fuck everything right now. And might have caught on. No, it just can. It just keeps looking back when I know fucking someone's over there.
Are you getting this? Yeah. It's crazy. There we go, buddy.
Oh, dude, keep getting closer. I was down for fluency, what the fuck? Yeah, see all the licking it keeps doing on its nose? Yeah, it's all all whacked out. It's squeaking, man.
I think he got her brown sensei.
It's stomping.
I had him at about 50 yards, but even though I practice out to 100 yards at home, I try not to take long shots outside 40 yards. If you compare this buck's face to the buck I saw with Lydia in October, it's definitely the same buck. More interesting though, watch this. You can actually see the spot where Lydia's arrow hit him last year. That circle mark on his side, right, that's where she hit him. These bucks are so tough and they survive high shots all the time, so I'm almost certain that this is the exact same buck. Unfortunately, he hit our ground scent here, where we had walked into our spot that morning, and he spooked. You can see it. And I didn't end up shooting this buck this past season. Maybe next year. We can only hope. We'll see. But thanks for watching this year. Appreciate you all.
Damn. Pretty good, though.
I mean...
fucking Jesus. Okay, hold on. No, we're not doing COR. Bruce Rivers. Okay, 6 footage. Jesus, we only have an hour left. I think that was our longest video though, so that's good. We have just a few more videos here. We have this one. You know what? We're gonna not react to that one. And we'll react to, let's see here, 10, 28, 30, 40 minutes left of content. So, our next video is gonna be the Powdur model Fiasco. For those who don't know, Leo Mindset's probably gonna cover it pretty well, but basically what had happened is somebody who Powdur got their model from basically tried to alter the terms of service or agreement and claw back the ownership and commercialization rights of Powdur's model from them, because they said something that they didn't agree with politically. So, Legal Mindset is going to go into that and show how when you're an artist, there are some things that you can do to control your art, right? But if you are commissioned, I'm sorry to say I have bad news for a lot of artists who think that they can separate commercialization rights from ownership rights when it comes to commissions. The issue with commissions like that is because you are actually usually using references that likely are owned by the commissioner, it's very hard to translate that into restricting commercial rights, given you have already created something using rights that they have. So commercialization and withholding commercialization rights is exceedingly difficult to do. When it comes to a paid-for commission. If it's something that you offer for free and you have a use agreement or a service agreement, there might be something that you can do there.
VTuber Powdur is in a bit of a fiasco after a company attempts to recall...
Also, can we all give a fucking a round of applause for the new editor and the heightened production value of Legal Mindset's video? His videos in his Fast Acts. He's got freaking intro screens. He's got some badass BGM going on. He's got fucking little editing blurbs and pop stuff. I have seen Legal Mindset develop from a creator who's passionate about the law to someone who has a little bit of knowledge on how to run a stream and stuff to now what looks like pretty well polished, short and informative videos on things where the law is concerned. It's very cool. Anyway, let's continue here.
Per model. We're going to do that today on Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. This is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So we have our white-haired elf VTuber on Twitch. Over here, you see her, in one outfit. We got the rice and the bananas. And over here, of course, perhaps a controversial ice version. Now, there's maybe some fan art here, but certainly she's made some statements that are pro-ice, pro-feds, a little Fed posting out there.
The only reason people should be upset with ICE is because they're not doing enough. They need to deport more people.
Look, I'm not going to say I agree with their statements. I will say in what ICE is doing, ICE is not doing enough actual good and is in fact doing far too much, just little things like constitutional violations. I think if they flip that fucking ratio, they'll be looking a lot better. But the thing that ICE needs to do a lot more of is comply with the Constitution to actually get proper training and, actually do border enforcement. I have no problem with border enforcement. In fact, Obama and Obama's ICE, whom Tom Holman got a freaking medal for. Tom Holman got an actual medal for his ICE informant and how he performed under Obama. But that was during a time when the ICE training was 5 to 6 months and they had a plainly identifiable uniforms. They didn't wear masks. They didn't do all this performative bullshit. So, if ICE is to improve and actually get run what Trump says he wants done, what we have to do then is increase training and bring things more back to when Obama deported 3+ fucking million people, right? Hey, you guys want millions deported? The way to do it is the way it's already been done under Obama, not violating the Constitution. Anyway.
They would have to deport like thousands of people every week in order to make a dent in the issues that we have right now. But that's not going to happen. So.
And of course, that's something very controversial right now in light of things going on. We just covered the Renee Good shooting. There's a lot of other issues involving ICE in the United States. It's very controversial at this point. And that is indeed the VTuber's right to have opinions on what they want to have or not have. But apparently, according to the plaintiffs in this case, as we're going to call them, which is Kokoda over here on X, Chili's Kokoda, this is a 4-person team that offers customizable models, and they made the model for Powdur. I believe she may be getting a new model.
I'm not getting an ICE outfit. Guys, I'm not getting an ICE outfit. Unless I see major reform in the department, I can't say that I support how ICE is currently doing things. I support their overall mission, but a mission touted and praised while it's being used and abused by the people who are supposed to be fulfilling that mission is kind of just gross to me. So until ICE's behavior improves, and until the prosecuting attorneys who are actually serving and volunteering their time for ICE, when talking to the judge, and the judge is asking, why can't ICE respond to us? Why is ICE not abiding by court orders? Why is ICE not following habeas corpus? Why is ICE doing all these things that are against the Constitution? And the lawyer who's volunteering to represent ICE says, the system sucks, this sucks, I just volunteered for this, they handed me 80 cases in the first week when I got here, and please judge, hold me in contempt for 24 hours so I can get some sleep. Until ICE isn't driving their attorneys to the point of their making insanity pleas in court, I'm sorry, I can't support ICE. I support their mission of getting rid of illegal aliens. However, I do not support their methodology or their execution right now. And until that changes, they're not going to get my support.
Made by them, but at this point, I believe she's still using their model at this point. So we have this issue where the Chili's team, which is 4 people, created the model for Powdur. Powdur made statements supporting ICE, and now, after they made those statements, Chili's wants to stop use the model and delete all previous material using it. So saying, hey, every stream that you have, anything...
Whoa, hey, wait, no. So these 4 people who made Powdur's model, right here, this is the problem right here. Everybody, Shalaz wants to stop use of model and delete all previous. So you are asking Powdur to delete their channel. You are asking Powdur to delete all content involving your model, and that's the model that they've been using for a hot minute. You are quite literally asking to just destroy a fucking channel. The model creators are Chinese, correct? I'm not sure. Yes, they are. I'm not sure. But all I know is this is crazy. Them being Chinese would make sense. Because in China, artists can do stuff like this. Artists can claw back model rights and stuff like that. Copyright law in China is fucking wild. But Powdur doesn't live in China. And in terms of like international enforceability, it's not really going to get very far.
Delete all previous material using it. So saying, hey, every stream that you have, anything that you've done, we need you to delete that. So that's where we're at. That's obviously huge for a VTuber because they're essentially having to go back and delete all of their content, which nobody's going to want to do, period. Right? So we're in a position where people are, coming out pro, against, and I'm going to give you the law on this and the way this actually should work out. So first of all, let's start with some statements. I'm going to read from the Shaliz team. So at first, they said, we merely provide the model and are not responsible for statements made by any individual users. The Shaliz.
Okay, so I'm going to say right now, this is a perfectly appropriate statement to make as a model creating company, right? We merely provide the model and are not responsible for the statements made by any individual users. The Chalas team stands for peace. I am merely a firearms dealer who is working, legally at a gun trade show or something like that. If I give you this and you pass your background checks and everything, what you do with this gun after I've sold it to you is not on me. That's a completely normal fucking thing. But the issue is they didn't stop with just the statement.
His team stands for peace. This statement, which is their original statement, I actually think the law stands behind. That's all you do
100%.
As an artist. You provide the model
100%.
and that's it. You're not responsible for anything they would do with that. Now, can I say, would a artist perhaps be in a situation they wouldn't want to sell to somebody because of their political positions? That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
But the point at which you do that, the proper point, and the point at which Shaliz should have really looked into is before you sell the model. So, for example, if you were a Christian artist and you didn't want to sell to a demon VTuber that was a VTubing Moloch or some other Beelzebub, whatever, some other, demon VTuber, and you felt that violated your faith, right? Although I think demon VTubers are cute. So, and I said it as a Christian. But that said, let's say you didn't want to do that, right? You don't have to do that. But the point at which you don't sell is before you make the sell, before you make the purchase agreement. Once you've made that agreement, it's kind of done unless you've tried to structure it in some weird other way, which typically is not going to work out for you. And we'll get into why. So they said this original one. And this, once again, we would have no legal
January
problems
20th.
if they stood by their original
Yeah. Again, I already said this, but no legal problems with this
statement here. However, they went and made another statement. And I'm going to read this because...
Holy shit, that's a fucking wall. God damn. Okay, I'll let Andrew fucking say this one. Oh, Jesus. Did you fucking use ChatGPT? What the fuck is going on?
This is a very interesting one. I know the font is a little small. A message from our Team Shaliz to our community. First, for those that may not know us, Team Shaliz is a 4-person
Remember, the gay wedding cake case went all the way to SCOTUS, and SCOTUS affirmed the cake shop's ability to refuse service. So a lot of people love to throw that one around, not remembering that case did not resolve the way a lot of people think it did.
Independent creative team. We're not a company or a corporation. Well, first big problem there, you're not going to probably have the funds to do this. So I'm just calling it out right now. You're not a company or corporation. You probably don't have a lot of money. It's not really going to work out for you.
Yeah.
Liz Beta is a passion project we built from the ground up and has now served over 1,400 creators. And we are generally grateful for every one of you. We want to take a moment to address some recent discussions and share where we stand. Our model is not a conventional digital product. It functions as your virtual identity, your face online. When viewers see your avatar, they naturally associate it with the creator behind the technology. This means that the way our model is used in a commercial context directly reflects on our brand and, more importantly, on the entire community of creators who
No. Holy shit. Do you not realize what this means by their own admittance? If we were going to go and use their admittance in their statement here as the rubric for which we have to judge this, right? They just said, our model is not a conventional digital product. It functions as your virtual identity, your face online, period. You have made the claim and attempt to take someone's identity then. That's what you're telling me. You are telling me that your product functions as your virtual identity, and you, as the creator of that virtual identity, have the right to take it away? I'm sorry, fucking what?
share this ecosystem. Recently, we received feedback from multiple users expressing concern that a certain commercial content created with our model, that's Powdur, was negatively affecting the community's perception and atmosphere. We take this feedback seriously. As the original creators and rights holders, that's actually false. So I want to stop right there.
Yeah.
They sold it. They no longer have the rights, right?
There you go. That is how, look. And I know some artists get really like, you know, look, it's your creation. It's your baby. I get it. You know, it's you feel very close to it, right? But this was a commissioned piece. You were paid money for a product. And just like we all have a problem with paying money for games and not actually owning that game, why the fuck do you think, artists, would it be all right to apply that fucking methodology to your art? No. If you sold this product and I bought it from you, I own the rights to it. You forfeited. You waived your rights to this product the second you accepted my tender for it.
So without any retention of rights, they would not have at all. And
first of all, babies are only good for sewing. I'm kidding. Oh my God.
Generally,
okay.
That's not going to happen in a product context. So I want to stop that right there and just dispel that incorrect statement. We believe our responsibility goes beyond simply selling a product. Them believing that responsibility, and this is me interjecting once again, them believing something doesn't make it true or legal.
Make it right,
it's not true.
Yeah.
We have an inherent obligation to protect the creative ecosystem. No, they don't. That all of our users are a part of. This is not about adding new rules after the fact, which they did. It is about upholding a principle that exists in any creative licensing relationship. It doesn't. Commercial use of someone.
Just consistent. It doesn't. It won't. It can't. I don't know what he's talking about.
Original work should not cause harm to the creator's brand or other fellow authorized users. That's not standard, and that's not something that is typically allows you to recall a product, right? That would be a brand relationship contract, something like with an advertiser. That would be different. They're not an advertiser. They don't have an ongoing relationship. We also want to be transparent. As a small independent team of 4, this is our first time navigating a situation like this. And we acknowledge that our
Now, I'd say Nanolis is still fucking crazy because she'll charge you $10,000 for her model and she can actually cancel that commission at any time. And she's not, according to her own terms of service, at the time when I was looking into it, required to give you back that money. So, I'm sorry, but nah. As far as crazy artists go, Nanolis is still more crazy.
Initial communication could have been handled more carefully. We are a small team of 4, not a legal department. Clearly, they don't know the law. We're learning as we go. We appreciate your...
The difference is, Meteoric. Villian got her model for free from a group that provides that model for free in several different instances. However, Powdur paid for this model. She paid for this product, and it's customizable into her own thing. So the issue is they don't really have limited rights of usage even because of the exchange of monetary value. No, I bought this from you.
Patience as we work to get this right. However, the core concern remains valid. Multiple users reached out to us with genuine concerns, and we have a responsibility to address them. No, you don't.
Know who Melody
and you don't have the right to address them. We also made aware that some of our authorized users have recently been receiving negative...
Francis Karma. Melody, you're talking about Project Melody. So, Project Melody had an artist and rigger make her a model. And after she kind of blew up and stuff, the artist actually tried to renegotiate the terms of the contract or whatever and like tried to claw back the model. Yeah, this is kind of reminiscent of that, but it's only more fucked because this is a foreign company from China trying to do the same thing.
Negative comments discouraging others.
She already bought the model product
from purchasing or using our model. If I were somebody that saw you were trying to do this, I would not buy from you either. That's very, very common. If I saw them trying to claw back models based on free speech, that would be a problem. We want to clarify, our concern has never been about controlling anyone's personal opinions. As we acknowledged above, our initial communication on this matter was not handled as carefully as it should have been. To be clear about our actual position, what we seek to manage is how original creative work is used in commercial context, not what any one person who believes or says through their own channels. Well, that's exactly what they're trying to do. We want to reiterate, this has always been about the use of our model, nothing more. This is our original creative work, not the buyer's original creation. Well, it's a product now. They own it, they have it, they have possession of it. Possession is 9/10 of the law, as they say. So yes, you're free to express.
Exactly. Possession is 9/10 of the law. If you sold something to me and I own it, guess what? 90% of the time, I'm going to be the one who's protected if you decide to take me to court.
Express any views through your own content, other models, voice, text, or other medium. We fully support freedom of expression. We simply ask you to not use our model to create content that harms our brand or community. Managing about how our work is used is not the same as restricting anyone's freedom of expression. Please do not confuse the two. It actually is, because you're trying to change the law involving products. To our creators, please do not let the comments discourage you. We stand behind every one of our users, and your right to use and enjoy Liz Meta is fully protected. That said, we're updating our terms of service after the fact to make these principles explicitly clear for everyone going forward. The updated terms will apply equally to all users and is standard practice across digital platforms. No, it's not. Continued use of the model will constitute acceptance. That's not acceptance at all. We'll get into that in a second. We have addressed the specific...
I love that companies think they can get away with this. Continued use of the model will constitute acceptance. No, it fucking won't. That's not how any of this works, and trust me, there's no judge who's going to enforce that, sorry.
Specific situation privately and will not be discussing individual cases publicly. We remain committed to supporting all creators who use Liz Meta in good faith. Thank you for being part of this community. Your trust means everything to us. If you have any questions or concerns, our DMs are always open. Team
You
Shaliz.
lost all
Let's
my
talk
trust.
about
What are
this.
you
They
talking
frame it
about?
as a service. They claim a vague ongoing duty to a community. They change the terms of service after the sale. They attempt to redefine what acceptance means in terms of a contract and delivery of a product. They offer nothing in exchange for the new terms. This is not standard practice. So all of these are legal violations here. So you cannot change terms and offer nothing in exchange. You can't just let their non-acceptance be acceptance. That's not a thing. You also can't claim an ongoing duty to the community. You're not doing anything that benefits the other party in terms of your quote-unquote ongoing duty to the community. In order for something to be a service, you need to be providing an ongoing service. You need to be doing something like continual maintenance, right? Or something else like that. If, for example...
are you offering occasional updates to the model? There's a lot of things here that they actually could, if they set themselves up in a certain way, they could technically accomplish what they're trying to do here. But how they set themselves up initially and them trying to retroactively change it later, that's why this is never going to work.
Models needed maintenance and you were doing maintenance on them or delivering them certain things on a set schedule, you could terminate that set schedule. That's fine, but that's not what you're doing. You've already put this thing out there. It's already done. This is a failed analysis because those multiple points this is inherently a product. Upon delivery, the exchange of value is complete and we're absolutely done here. So the models all...
I'm sorry, legally speaking, there's no difference between this model and a fully commissioned model. Monetary value was exchanged in response to this model. They gave the files. The files can be used in their totality with no ability or ongoing service arrangement or anything like that. Legally speaking, this is no different than a fully commissioned model, which would be a product. That's just how this is, and that's how that boils down legally. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but in the eyes of the law, there's no difference.
Always should be sold and produced as products. If you are a VTuber and you see anywhere, in any sort of terms of service, a company that is attempting to set a limited license or frame models as an ongoing service, you should never buy from that company. You should avoid them like the plague. You should stay away from them because that is not the law. Now, the good news is for most everybody, including people...
And remember me, York, it doesn't necessarily matter that money is exchanged. Kind of does, but okay. The issue here, York, is how they set themselves up foundationally and then try to change their contract and what they actually do to something more service-based. They can't do it in the way that they've done it. Now, if they set it up as a service-based contract from the get-go, right, from the point of purchase, then honestly, Powdur would be kind of fucked here. Because then you're absolutely right, and what you are impressing and not agreeing with is that would actually apply. But foundationally, they did not start out as this service product thing. They changed that retroactively halfway through the creation of the thing and long after Powdur's point of purchasing their product.
Bought from this, they're never going to be able to enforce it. It's going to be so expensive and practically impossible to claw this back, especially since this appears to be an international thing. This appears to be something that would cross borders. That's not going to work out for them financially, fiscally, practically. It's just not going to.
It's not even how they're changing TOS after the fact. It's the fact that they're trying to foundationally change what kind of product they provide, and they're doing it retroactively. That's more than just terms of service changing.
Work so they can go eat some crow. Although I do love crows, so let's leave crows out of this. But I want to know what you guys think about in the comments below. What do you think about the situation and how this played out with Powdur? I'll catch you on the next one.
I mean, yeah, Powdur. I mean, look, that company really, they could have handled it one way, they didn't, and now that's kind of how they're gonna be on the short end of the stick, kind of thing. But there you go, that's that one. Oh, we have another one. Shit. Okay, yeah. Okay, I don't want to do this, but I really don't think I will have the time to watch this video. The most dangerous stretch of water on Earth. It was posted 6 days ago by Scary Interesting. What I might do is I might push this back to next week because it tickles my boatism, right? But, the most dangerous stretch of water on Earth is the Drake Passage. It is a stretch of water between South America and Antarctica, uninterrupted, where the waves and the winds are able to travel around the world circumference-wise, unimpeded by any land. So, sadly, that's a 21-minute video, and we're just not going to have time for that. So instead, we're going to finish this off with a video that it's kind of important to show. And it's only important to show because this is inherently an issue. This video is getting a YouTuber 31 years in prison. For those who know, and I know a lot of you know, Law by Mike, a channel with 17.3 million subscribers, mind you, is talking about everybody's favorite nuisance streamer, Johnny Somali. The issue with this is the 31-year number is not correct. Trial has not concluded yet, and there's a bunch of issues with how this video is presented. Now, luckily, Legal Mindset is, he might have just been finishing up or might be in the middle of that stream, but Legal Mindset is actually giving us a Johnny Somali update because I believe today was the Bong Bong testimony hearing. So, we're going to watch this, we're going to correct the record, and if Legal Mindset is still alive, I don't know if he is or not, I'll actually read out into you guys into that one. But understand that a lot of this is coming from, I don't know, it's like he did surface research and he didn't deep dive. Not everything he says is wrong, but there's several things that I feel obligated to correct.
How is it possible that a YouTuber could get 31 years in prison?
I have no morals. I'm a sociopath.
You're about to watch someone who thinks they can do anything, anywhere, face real legal consequence, and how 5 mistakes built a legal case so strong that this creator may never be allowed to return home again. It all starts with a simple visit to one of South Korea's most beloved memorials.
I stand with the Korean people. I love Korea. Everything that I did in Japan was for the Korean and the Chinese people.
When Johnny was in Japan, he walked through the streets shouting about 2 atomic bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Oh yeah, that was really bad.
Ooh.
I cringe every time he's in a fucking train, in a metro, in fucking Japan, and he's just screaming Nagasaki, Hiroshima. What the, oh gee fucking god, absolutely disgusting. I mean top tier, bottom fucking behavior.
That's super offensive. A lot of people died because of what happened there. I don't know why he's yelling that in Japan. The problem is that this isn't a normal statute. It's called the statute
of... Oh god, tumor. Yeah, this is really bad too. I'm sure Mike's probably gonna cover this.
Peace, and it commemorates...
Yeah, it's the Statue of Peace, and this is commemorating the Korean women who were forced into sex work by the Japanese during World War II. This is a very important symbol in that entire internationally, really. And this motherfucker's kissing it. And just generally being incredibly disrespectful.
Korean women who were forced into slavery by the Japanese military during World War II. And Johnny's trying to justify his crimes in Japan by claiming everything he did was for the Korean people. But really, he's just disrespecting a protected public monument, which is obstruction of both public order and a public place.
Yeah.
And that was just the first of 5 things Johnny did.
Think of it like disturbing the peace or disorderly conduct.
That could land him up to 31 years in prison. Next, look at what he did inside a convenience.
God damn it, his obstruction of business charge. I think this was one of the big first ones. Dude was fucking pouring alcoholic drinks, spilling ramen everywhere, just being a general fucking asshole to what looks like some random 7-Eleven worker. Like, it's so
Convenience store in Seoul. Johnny is seen sitting in a convenience store, making an alcoholic drink and blasting music. An employee comes over and tells him to quiet down.
It's literally a 7-Eleven. Holy shit. It's literally a fucking 7-Eleven, guys.
And stop drinking. Under Article 21 of the Food Sanitation Act, allowing customers to drink inside a convenience store can result in the owner getting fined or even having their license canceled. But he continues to act like a jerk. This is obstructing business, meaning he's stopping someone from performing their duties. But it's the least important thing that's happening here. Then, a customer tells Johnny to clean up his mess. Johnny's response?
I don't remember seeing that part where he screamed "Shut up, bitch" to the store employee. I don't remember that. I mean, here's the thing. I kind of like I cringe so hard I tune out some of these videos because they're really just that bad. But I don't remember him just screaming "Screw you, bitch" in response to them. But hey, can you clean this shit up, you dicks?
He turned the music up even louder and started dancing in the middle of the walkway. Once he starts yelling at other customers, he becomes liable for violations under Korea's Minor Offenses Act, which covers disorderly conduct and cleanup costs. So what does this mean? All of these actions will be included in the case against Johnny, and when a judge reviews the case, the judge will treat each of these moments as evidence. What's even more interesting is that Johnny deleted the original footage from the convenience store because of backlash online. However, he may not realize that other people have already re-uploaded the video. A judge can still find and use it as evidence, and depending on the circumstances, could treat the deletion of the original as an attempt to destroy evidence.
I don't know about that one. From what I understand, the channel that the video was initially hosted on was terminated by YouTube for community guidelines. That, of course, would remove the video, but that's not necessarily Johnny Somali's fault. And I don't know that you're going to get him for destruction of evidence over that.
Which brings us to the first bus incident.
God damn it, here we go.
The music Johnny is blasting on the bus is a North Korean propaganda song. He's trying to offend and
Are you fucking kidding me?
disrupt the passengers to get a reaction from them.
Get out. Get out? Oh. Get out. Allah Akbar. Let me tap my money. Oh, shit. Let me tap my thing. Allah Akbar.
Are you... He just said Allah Akbar for no reason?
So once someone forces a driver to stop a bus and they're removed, they're no longer just being disrupted. They're now preventing someone else from running their business. But this wasn't the only case of Johnny causing a scene on public transport. People are very frustrated with him already.
What is English? English.
Wow. This is where things get dangerous, because now Johnny isn't just putting himself at risk. He's putting that man, the people around him, and the driver in danger too. And that opens the door to even more serious charges, like intimidation and assault.
I got a police. 112, 112, I got a police. Back up.
Wow.
Anonymous sent $10. I called 112.
But the man on the bus was the least of his problems, because once Korean news started running this footage, everything changed. Mapo police station confirmed they had opened a formal investigation. Police began reviewing the clips for proof of crimes being committed. And soon after, the local news reported that Johnny had been booked by police. In Korea, being booked does not mean you're arrested. It means you are now a formal suspect and the case is moving through the legal system.
Yeah,
and if
that's
that
true.
wasn't bad enough, the police also placed a travel ban on Johnny, which meant he couldn't.
He actually had his passport taken from him, and he actually ended up having to go to the embassy to get a purple backed passport, which is an emergency passport. But he can't even use that to get out of the country, although he did try and fail.
Leave the country while the case continued. Then something happened that shocked not just Johnny, but everyone following the case online.
와 레전드.
Oh my.
Johnny was attacked by a group of strangers who said they were fed up with what he had been doing in South Korea. And then it happened again.
What do you got? Oh.
Is that the good one?
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah,
but this
there
time
it
it
is.
was different. It wasn't a random civilian. It was a former Korean Special Forces soldier turned YouTuber. Oh man.
Yeah,
Look at
I
him.
remember him.
My hat.
He's wobbling.
자, 이쪽으로 오세요.
That was a hard hit. And this guy's getting arrested. It's still against the law to hit someone.
Yeah.
You know, if you're
It's against the law to hit somebody, but that's the thing. That Korean citizen, Special Forces unit, weighed his options and you know what? It's worth jail and possible charges to punch this guy in the face. Think about that. Think about being such a horrible, deplorable person that someone, when thinking about punching you, actually goes, yeah, you know what? It's worth the trade-off. It's worth the trade-off of jail time to see you hit the ground.
Johnny, you should expect this coming. You pretty much angered an entire country. After the incident, the attacker was investigated and charged under South Korea's Criminal Act. Reports first said he was fined around 1.5 million won, about $1,025 US. But later, Dialgan told another YouTuber his punishment was far worse than anyone expected. He was also charged with intimidation and stalking because the confrontation with Johnny was planned and filmed. And once legal fees were added, the total fine was 10 million won, roughly 7,000 US dollars. This is huge because in South Korea, the average monthly income is around $2,800. And at first, it looked like he would be stuck paying all of the fines alone. But then he posted a photo on Instagram of him standing in the street next to Johnny. The caption read that he did what he had to do as a Korean citizen. He thanked people around the world for calling him a hero. Underneath was a PayPal link. Almost immediately, the public began to help cover.
Awesome. I'm hoping the people helped cover his legal expenses.
For the cost. But what's even crazier was that a former police officer and American YouTuber known as Donut Operator paid the remaining $4,000.
Donut, you fucking based motherfucker! Are you kidding me? Donut Operator just fucking wiped it out, you absolute goated Chad of a man. Holy shit.
By this point, most people would start taking the situation seriously. And for a brief moment, it looked like Johnny did too.
나는 조마오 죄송합니다.
Johnny then went live to explain himself and share his side of what happened.
I want to apologize to the Korean people. I was not aware of the significance of the statue. You know what I mean? It was just entertainment from my audience.
But despite Johnny's best efforts, the public didn't believe this apology was sincere. Almost immediately, people warned the Korean public that Johnny had done the exact same thing in Japan. They said he apologized there too. And then, the moment he left the country,
Okay, well, to be fair, he did apologize to the Japanese, but it was far more... What's the word? I'm trying to think here. Look, okay, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. A fucking Yakuza member managed to fucking grab Johnny Somali, get him on his fucking knees, and get him to record an apology to the Japanese people. I'm sorry, I can't sugarcoat that anymore. It was one of the most based fucking things I've ever seen. The Yakuza fucking pulled up and forced Johnny Somali to apologize. It's not even that it wasn't an insincere performative. It was just straight up just like the Yakuza went, look, I don't give a shit. You're gonna get on your knees and you're gonna fucking apologize. And let me tell you, if the Yakuza walks up to you and tells you to do something, you're probably gonna fucking do it.
Insulted them again, and things only got worse. On the actual day of his hearing, Johnny showed up late to court. This is seen as extremely disrespectful in any court in the world, because it shows that you're not taking this matter seriously. And it became worse when he entered the courtroom. He was wearing a Make America Great Again hat, which broke courtroom rules, and he had to be told twice to remove it. Then the prosecution read the charges into the record. In total, he faced 2 minor offense charges and 4 obstruction charges. Johnny's lawyer entered.
Okay, I think that was for that initial thing, but he's facing like 7 or 8 charges now, not just 6.
Guilty pleas to all of them. By pleading guilty at the hearing, Johnny locked in criminal convictions. And in South Korea, that sharply increases the chance of a prison sentence. But then something totally unexpected happened.
I'm pretty sure he's facing a 12-year max.
Judge introduced a 4th charge that Johnny and his lawyer had not reviewed yet. Back in October, Johnny was doing more than harassing random people.
Holy shit, you actually got, okay, cool. Okay, I didn't think Law by Mike was going to cover the Latte World incident, which was far worse in my opinion. It included playing lewd sounds over a speaker in front of children at a fucking theme park.
He was also targeting a well-known streamer named Bong Bong. Johnny pulled up.
Oh, okay, so this is the Bong Bong deepfake. Never mind, okay. I thought he, okay, well, I would really like for him to cover the Latte World stuff, but he probably won't.
AI-generated images and video on a live stream that showed him and the Korean streamer Bong Bong.
And for those who don't know, deepfaking in general is pretty much highly illegal in Korea.
IRL in staged intimate moments, including a clip that makes it look like they were kissing. He used that as supposed proof that she was his Korean girlfriend. He told viewers that she had invited him to Korea and used those fake clips to sell that story, even though there had never been a real relationship. The clip he showed even had an AI watermark in the corner, which viewers noticed right away. Under South Korea's violence laws and recent deepfake reforms, creating or sharing NSFW deepfakes of a real person is treated as a.
And I think the Latte World charges were dropped, but that's kind of the thing. Even just the act of kissing in Korea is considered an inherently sexual thing, which is why PDA in South Korea is extremely rare. You're almost never going to see PDA, kissing and stuff like that. That is considered sexual in Korea, legally. So yes, even sharing a picture or an AI-generated video of him and another fully clothed person kissing, that is him publishing, generating, and sharing NSFW deepfakes of a real person.
Crime, even if everyone knows the footage is fake. Each count can carry a sentence of about 10 years in prison, and prosecutors have said that the Bong Bong deepfake is one of the main charges driving Johnny's potential prison time. Johnny's lawyer entered not guilty pleas to the 2 deepfake charges, but he clearly shook Johnny because of what he asked the judge next.
I'm going to ask you if there's any way we could do expedited trial, because I've already been here for over 1 year in travel ban. I have family, I have obligations in America, and I want to have the right to a speedy trial.
She explained that other foreigners had.
Yeah, also, just because you have right to a speedy trial in the United States of America does not mean you have that right in other countries. In fact, America is sort of unique in the fact that we offer a speedy trial as a guaranteed right.
Already been waiting nearly 2 years, and that Johnny would not receive any special treatment.
I feel the same situation, but more things happen to other alien defendants who have been around in this country for more than 2 years for pending trial.
But a lot of what Johnny said may be a lie, because during one of his streams, Johnny claimed that his family disowned him.
The only thing I'm really tripping over is because my dad told me he does not want me to have kids. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just go back to crashing out. Y'all don't like me anyway. I'll make a new family.
This contradicts his statement to the judge that he needs to go home to see his family and could affect his credibility for anything he says in the future. What's even more ridiculous is that I found an interview where someone from Johnny Somali's team revealed just how much money Johnny was making from all of his stunts.
In a day, roughly, how much would he make?
If he was streaming a long stream, it was 700 a day.
What?
$700.
That's only on donations.
$700 to terrorize a country? That doesn't seem worth it.
No, that's it. I mean, no flexing, but like quite literally, you guys, chat, have managed to beat that number in a day before. I think it was my birthday stream, but yeah, you guys that's insane. That he was only getting 700 in donos per long stream.
Literally risking his life over a few $100s. The public also wants to see Johnny face real consequences, especially after years of YouTubers causing problems across Asia. Because of that history, some people are openly saying Johnny should be punished harshly. The next court date has been set for February 11th, 2026. If the victim
Legal Mind, by the way, Legal Mindset, I believe has a stream up right now. Either he's just finished it or he's still in it. But I believe he has updates for us regarding this February 11th trial.
Does not appear, the hearing could be delayed again. Right now, Johnny Somali is facing 8 charges in South Korea. And if he is convicted on every count, the maximum sentence is 31 years in prison. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see another video like this, click here to watch YouTubers who are...
Look, I will say, as a United States based lawyer, doing probably what was surface research. Yeah, February 11th in South Korea right now. But for a US-based lawyer doing research, I'd say he hit most of the points. He has some specifics wrong. He says some of the charges not wrong. I think one of the charges wasn't listed, and the maximum sentence is wrong, even if you include all aggravating factors. He could not get 31 years. Yeah, that was mostly correct. Okay, he already has the facts out. Of course he does. Oh my god, does he really? He does 2 hours ago. It's only 10 minutes. You guys want us to watch it? You know what? We're gonna watch it. After that, Lullaby Mike, we're gonna watch this one. I think Andrew would be okay with it. This is the last video we have to watch for sure. I'll edit the description later. But given Lullaby Mike just gave us that whole thing, I would love the deepfake charge update from Legal Mindset because he's the one really following this case. So here we go.
Today we have an update on the Johnny Somali trial that's going to happen tomorrow and his deepfake settlement, which is now in danger on the eve of his trial. Of course, this is the Legal Mindset where we teach you to be your own judge, and I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney over here in Asia, and this is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So let's get right into the situation with Somali, his trial, where it's at, before we get into that tomorrow. Of course, Ramzi Khalid Ismail is his name, so we'll be using Ramzi interchangeably throughout this document, as he doesn't like that. So the background is the last trial was on October 29th. It's been quite a while since his last trial. Once again, in Korea, the process is the punishment. He is not in jail pending trial. He's out. He's living, still staying with Hank in his apartment. And during that October trial, as a refresher, there were 2 witnesses, Hank and Youngman. Those were 2 people involved in the deepfakes involving Johnny Somali, where Johnny Somali had made a deepfake of Korean streamer Youngman, who's a little bit of a character himself. He actually has criminal charges for throwing a brick through a courthouse window. But there had been a deepfake of him and Hank together, let's say, in what is a sexually explicit, post.
Yeah, if I remember correct, the reason why Youngman's deepfake charges as it relates to Johnny Somali were dropped is because Youngman actually technically violated that same law, even though he was sharing Johnny Somali's generated video on his platform, because the wording of the law, well, even though you're the victim of this deepfake, you sharing it is in violation of that law as well. So I think what ended up happening is Youngman ended up settling, and that pretty much ended up getting dropped as an additional charge. So he's only facing the single deepfake charge involving Bong Bong.
Is they're partly naked, they're
Simon,
making
welcome
out,
to the chat.
right? So that was shown to his audience,
damn it,
and that was
hold on.
also shown to Youngman's audience. So they were both charged with deepfake charge over this incident that happened last year. Now, tomorrow, Bong Bong is scheduled to attend tomorrow. We have some updates on her attending because she was up in the air whether or not she's going to go or not go, or she's going to not show up. But we now have confirmation, which I'm going to show you guys, that she is indeed coming tomorrow.
Really?
And it looks like she's got a good mindset for going to trial. Now, if she didn't show up, theoretically, the trial will be delayed until she testifies. So technically, if she didn't show up tomorrow, if she got sick, if she was in an accident, God forbid, or something happened, she just couldn't attend, it would be delayed until she testifies. They are going to wait until she testifies. So tomorrow, it's very possible. In fact, I'm going to say the standard is the trial will be closed. When there's a victim testimony like this, they typically close the courtroom. And unless the victim goes out of their way to say, I want this open, it's going to be closed. So although Bong Bong has the option to open the courtroom, the chances are it's going to be closed because she may not even know that she has that option to open the courtroom, and she may not want to open that courtroom. So we're going to presume that it's going to be closed tomorrow. So when I do my live coverage, I may have it a little delayed just because I presume it's closed. But there's an update on the settlement with Youngman. Now, as some background here, Youngman and Somali came together and they had a settlement 4 months ago. So 4 months ago, Youngman and Ramsey had an unofficial agreement to settle the deepfake charges. However, both of the cases have continued uninterrupted with no changes to either case. So we're now updating our chart, which I'll show you, where we had removed one of the deepfake claims because we thought this settlement was going to go through. We thought this settlement was going to be done. It was going to be, these charges were going to be dropped. But now we're looking at the files. We're looking at the court case, on the eve of this, and neither one, both in Youngman's case and Somali, neither one has been dropped. So that says a lot, and I think that this is getting them worried. Because if they don't, because
I don't know for sure, I'd have to ask Andrew. But I think they don't necessarily record the trial, but an open trial will allow anyone to fill the courtroom until it's full, and then, they'll close it. But, that's probably the difference. They're allowed to either fill the galley or they have to clear it out with a open or closed trial.
At the end of the day, have the discretion to keep or drop charges. It's not on the parties. The parties can say, we want to drop this, and that can influence the prosecutor. But the prosecutor can say, nope, actually, we think this is bad. We think this should be discouraged.
Okay, that I didn't know that. That's actually pretty cool. I would honestly love if the prosecutor decided to keep the charges.
We want to keep this there, particularly if they don't like Somali. So this is an indication that the prosecutors probably are not big fans of Somali, and maybe not big fans of Youngman either, right? For what he did, throwing the brick through the window in combination with the deepfakes. So he's got a lot of things. Both of these characters, Youngman and Ramsey, they're perhaps not very well liked by the prosecutors, which is why they're keeping those charges on, which is good because it increases the potential time that we can see him in jail. Which once again, to be very clear, because a lot of other channels are doing clickbait right now, the maximum is 12 years and 6 months. That is the maximum
12 years
amount.
and 6 months. Oh my God! Listen, look. I was doing that off of memory, and I was saying, look, the max they could get is probably 12 years. Look, I'm glad that I got under rather than over, because everyone's throwing out 31 years and all these other crazy fucking things because they're just doing addition on aggravating sentencing, not realizing that Korea has a max cap for sentencing in the form of 12 years and 6 months for the number of charges that RKI actually faces.
Allowable under the law, right? They cannot go beyond that. It's not 31 years. It's not 40 years. It's not 50. It's not life in prison.
So much.
It is 12 years and 6 months. If you see any other information, it's misinformation. On February 3rd this month, Hank actually submitted a request for clarification of the scope of the agreement. So Hank went out and submitted this document. That means conclusively that Ramsey is worried about the settlement, that the settlement may not go through. Because once again, 4 months ago, legal experts, not just me, but Korean lawyers, Korean people I spoke to that know the legal process, they thought the charges will be dropped within 2 weeks.
I remember that.
And that's standard. That's
in fact,
completely standard in the criminal process.
That's what I was saying. remember I said earlier I was pretty sure the charges with Youngman were dropped, and the reason why is because back during the October trial, I think it was presumed because Youngman and Ramsey entered into that settlement that was just going to be dropped 2 weeks. I didn't know 4 months later they actually haven't done anything with those charges.
In Korea. The fact is, on January 26th, there were closing arguments held in Youngman's case, and the deepfake charge was still in place. So this other case is there. They've already had closing arguments, and the deepfakes are still there. And his sentencing is set for March 9th, 2026. That's also very odd. It's 42 days after closing argument, which is highly unusual because typically they only do these things 2 weeks after. So what they might be waiting for is tomorrow's case. So a lot of this may hinge on what is said tomorrow in court and what goes down tomorrow in court as to what they do with these deepfake charges. I think if they feel like the Bong charges are strong enough, maybe they do drop that. If the Bong ones are weak, maybe they keep those around. We'll see. It may be because the prosecutor really wants to hit Johnny with at least one deepfake charge. So they've got two to pick from here, and they want to hit him with that. So because of that, we're going back to our chart. We've removed the strike through. There was a strike through on Youngman. We've removed that. We've now got that back into place. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 criminal counts here against Johnny.
Fucking 8 goddamn criminal counts. My fucking God. And of which, by the way, 6 of these 8 counts, he's already pled guilty to.
Somali, which he's only defending 2 on not guilty. The rest he's pled guilty for, right? The rest he's pled guilty for. And once again, the maximum is 12 years, right? And then you've got some time for the Minor Offenses Act. So you're not going to get more than that, more than 12 years and maybe 2 months or so, right? You're not going to get more than that. 12 years is the maximum.
Yeah, here's the thing. That's something that's kind of important to mention. When you end up, like, if you're facing criminal charges in South Korea, they don't just throw you in jail. Because Korea is the jail. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. You can't you're just gonna have to wait for your trial. So effectively, Ramsey served almost 2 years in a jail the size of a country, just waiting for his fucking sentencing on what he's actually supposed to serve in the actual jail. Hopefully, farming some excellent cabbage for all of us and our kimchi ways.
That's still the total, and each count will simply increase the minimum. I think that Somali is still likely to get jail time, and my estimate is still between 1 to 7 years. That's still where I'm at in terms of my general estimate. If they aggravate the factors, it could go up to 10, and if they hit him with both deepfake charges, it could be more. That's very possible, but I think 1 to 7 is the reasonable range, the reasonable guess at this time. 1 to 7 is good. So Ramsey's lawyer previously made a lot of bad arguments, and even Johnny today was making some bad arguments about what they're going to do with Bong Bong.
I'm going to trial because this is ridiculous. Why don't we talk about how she went on live stream and shared the same thing? Is Korea a racist country? Is Korea a sexist country? Because best believe me, that's...
Dude, you can't just say that, dude. You're facing trial and you just called an entire country racist and sexist.
Going to be brought up. And we have the evidence of her showing that.
So what he's trying to say is, hey, I'm going to try to make this into, if you don't charge Bong Bong, this is going to be very, very bad look for Korea because it's going to look like they're racist or they're sexist, etc. But guess what? That's not going to fly, right? The court has discretion on who to charge. And in this case, when they look at Bong Bong as the victim and they look at Bong Bong as a more sympathetic victim than, let's say, Youngman, right? They may choose not to go forward with that. And they may see Ramsey and his lack of remorse and say, nope, we're not going to go for that. And these other bad arguments that they've been throwing in there are not going to help either. They argued that Johnny couldn't be guilty for a deepfake because there was no intent and it wasn't sexual, which is a horrible argument because making
deepfake in Korea doesn't require intent.
Out, kissing, etc. is inherently sexual, and there's an intent because the intent
is he published it.
That's all that's required under the statute in Korea, according to legal experts I've spoken to. It's not, you don't need to have malicious intent or evil intent. You publish this thing online, that is enough. Johnny asked for an expedited trial. The judge had denied that back in October and said that some foreign defendants can be up there for 6 years. So he's got very little tolerance for Johnny Somali's complaining. And also, they're trying to argue the Lawtube World charge even after the guilty plea. So they've already pled guilty to Lawtube World and the obstruction of business there, but they're still trying to argue that. So I would expect that is an argument they might try to bring up yet again tomorrow at the case. Now, let's compare the difference between Youngman and Somali. Youngman, who is Korean, has submitted 7 apologies in his case. And remember, he's still got that same deepfake charge. 7 apologies. Somali has not submitted a single apology letter. He has not apologized at all.
Seriously?
So far. That is a big deal in the Korean court system, and that is massive for the adjudication of this case. No, the fact that his deepfake charge has not been dropped really gives us a chance that they could be hit with both of them. Now, Bong Bong's performance on the stand is going to be critical, that she hangs in there and she tells the truth. But we now have some information saying that she's going to come. So this is from her Discord, where she says, wow, it's tomorrow, right? She said this today. Yesterday. Johnny Somali Court. Bongi, you decided it's your life. Johnny needs to suffer harsh consequences. And then she goes, I will just say the truth and do it for Korea. So she's got that in there. And it seems like she's in the frame of mind where she's going to have a positive outlook on this. She's going to tell the truth. That's all she can. That's all she has to do. Yeah, she will be cross-examined by Johnny's lawyer. Now we'll try to get the best of what happened. Through the ways that we can try to get the information that happened. But like I said, it may be a closed court case where we may not be able to get in tomorrow. So we'll do the best to get the updates to you as they come out. It's going to happen at 3:40 p.m. in Korean Standard Time. So we'll probably have our coverage coming out a little bit after that. So I want to know what you guys think and what you think about Johnny Somali, the case, and everything else that's going down in Korea. And I'll catch you on the next.
There you go. There we go. Thank you so much to everyone. We've been actually streaming for 2 hours and 50 minutes. We only have 19 minutes before I'm going to catch, hopefully, many of you on Kick, where we're going to actually start the first season and only the first season of Stranger Things. We're at about a halfway point on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood on our watch along with Oko there. And right now we're at a point where we could take a break in the anime to do something else. But after these next couple episodes in FMA Brotherhood, there's no way that's going to be able to happen. So we're going to break up FMA Brotherhood with season 1 of Stranger Things, and that'll be in 20 minutes here. So thank you very much for attending. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell as hard as you possibly can. And while I figure out where we're sending you guys and little cover that I just finished doing, that I will put in the outro, Death to Goat, stick around. Cause I got a new cover. But let me figure out who I am rating into. Customization, redirect, potentially criminal, Vampire Odessa, let's see here. I guess we will throw you guys into Sparky's playing LA Dangerous, so I'll just throw you guys there. And also, let me make sure I can set this up. Just real quick, hold on. Audio. I said audio. Not, damn it. Audio. Visualizations. Goom. Not goon, goom. Okay, here we go. Put that there. Studio mode. Waiting room. Hold on, I had to make sure. I want to make sure this sets up really good. So. There we go. Okay, here we go. Get myself a notion. The one I know that you understand. Set the world in motion. Drives me out for each other. We will discover why we should have known all along. Yeah. While we were not buds, again is where we both belong. If we left that feeling so alone, we found we're never too far apart, and maybe all of the reason why, for the first time ever, I'm seeing it eye to eye. Hold on to trafficking us. Too hard to fly, too hard to break through. I know that love will lead us. Find a way to bring me to you. So don't be in a hurry. Think before you count us down. Ooh, you don't have to worry. I won't ever let you down.